dudes who on they square and pursuing their business and walking in there and what they supposed to, them is not asking your body count.
So you saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count.
Ooh. Oh, Lord. No, we didn't.
This has been tonight.
I feel so bad because I don't lie to this man about my body count. I told his ass I only got 7.
Me personally, it's childish. A girl's past should never matter, and it doesn't matter to me. If you're a girl and you agree with me, DM me.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything.
I love black women. I love decent, hardworking, God-fearing black women who support their families.
Yes, sir.
I don't like degenerate, lying, false testify-giving women who put their man on child support, even though he's been paying for you, and then turn around and lie to the court and say you're a deadbeat daddy and who alienate their children from their father. I don't like those type of women, and I will call them to the mat each and every time for their lies and their disparaging statements about black men, largely because what? That's what a father does. See, my sons turn 18, they will inherit the mantle of black men.
Right.
And all the negativity and the tropes that go with it. And it's not fair for my children, for my babies, to inherit that trope because they didn't do anything. They're innocent, as I said earlier.
Thing. He said it's a comedy skit.
But he didn't say it was a comedy skit. I don't know that.
But I told you I wasn't. But
okay, and I let it go.
You didn't let it go.
I'm not talking about it. You are. I don't give a fuck if you was a pimp or not.
But I don't give a... You keep asking me stupid shit.
I did not.
Why do you keep
what
asking
other
me
stupid shit do I ask you? What other stupid shit do I ask you?
Bring your fucking voice down.
No, you don't talk to me like that.
Bring your voice down.
No, you don't talk to me
you
like
bring
that.
your
You're
voice
not my
down.
daddy, though.
You can leave. You
can
leave. You can leave. You can leave. There you go. No. Let her go. No. Let her go. Go ahead. Bye. Go. You go.
No.
There you go. No, you can leave. Go ahead.
Why are y'all doing this?
You good. We good. Thank you. Have a good day, sweetie.
What is going on? How did this
all right. No. It's good. There you go.
Oh my God. What in the world?
There you go.
What just happened?
It was time for her to bounce.
Oh my God. Maybe
I know that. Out of respect to minorities. What the fuck? Stop! I want to get another air right now. You punching air, probably swinging around eating some bananas. Fucking stupid bitch. Preach is crying right now, swinging from a monkey branch.
And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. If we're going to be men, the first thing we got to do is take responsibility for why our women feel the way they feel.
I want you to listen to what this Negro has to say.
Of a white guy who married a black woman with black children. And in this video, the white guy was clowning black men and saying, you think I can't raise black boys? I raise them better than y'all do.
This is type of woke shit that I'm talking about right here that makes white men like Nick Fuentes get on the internet and be comfortable saying nigger. This is why motherfuckers like this are dangerous. And we've let these Negroes go on too long saying whatever they want to say. All this anti-black male rhetoric is what it is. This is why motherfuckers like this are dangerous. And we've let these Negroes go on too long saying whatever they want today. All this anti-black male rhetoric is what it is.
We got too many PhDs screaming they woke. Sleep on the land and take us off for a joke. The blacks I see, immigrants, tap dancing, nigga shit. Homie, he ain't black like me. Ancestors fought and died with no guns. You hear disrespect and speak with a forked tongue. We march for togetherness. All we really seeing is a bunch of sellout motherfuckers round here don't tell the shit. Separate better shit. We don't fuck with it, trick them celibate. Tell it to the donkey and the elephant. Here for the benefits. Damn right, talking to you immigrants. Over here acting like you innocent. In your homeland, you don't fuck with blacks. But getting handouts and money off our tax. And we ain't getting shit but some feel-good talk. And young black men outlined in white chalk. Time to spark change, the kind folks see. Produced by Baz, inspired by Uncle D. Give black men a voice, they only Umars on Friday. And trust me, our doctor ain't boys. My people rejoice, my lyrics ain't shooting and killing the black man. Make a motherfucking choice. What niggas do for money, clown and act a fool. Wearing dresses, finessing money just for a school. Tell it to these coons on a plantation, made it a celebration. Everybody to Zoom, blizzard in the room. So bundle up, trick. It's cold outside and he ain't taking no shit. This is why they hate us. Blood run deep, a generation of traitors. They wanna see us weak, you ain't a part of the family. Cold shoulder, fuck you, black men ain't shit. I'm sure the world will love you. Head down long enough, 50 plus years, you yelling that we ain't strong enough. Took them benefits and ran with it, it's Mayday. Took the kids away and now they Pookie and Ray Ray. This is where we separate.
Word, feel me? We gotta keep our black women safe. Why you got spray pan and what's the name?
Like, you keep this shit moving, bro. We don't play like that, bro.
Okay, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. We don't play like that.
About, my nigga? Like, look at your van, my nigga. This is some weird shit. Don't come parking around this shit, my nigga.
Word, there's some other shit.
Fuck you. What's the name of the block? I don't know. Bro, get the fuck out of here, my nigga. Real shit, bro. And keep it going fast, bro.
Yo, that's some crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Get it understood, cause real black men wish a motherfucker would. So buck if you want to. On the next flight, we do whatever we want to. Blizzard King coming, everybody favorite uncle.
You got niggas with degrees enabling these motherfuckers by perpetuating these lies and negativity about black men. Most of you black men don't have kids. You ain't even got no wife. 31% of y'all are married, 51% of you don't have kids, and you're not married. That's 82% of black men who ain't did shit or are doing it the right way. It's 18% of men out there with children outside of wedlock. And of that group, they are better fathers than men of other races who are married to their women. Right. You black men are outstanding. You hear me? You are winning. Fuck what these PhD ass niggas are saying. You are winning. You are doing a great fucking job, especially considering what you had to do and deal with historically. Especially that. Nobody's saying that. These lying motherfuckers, man.
Dennis Sperling. This person has been negatively targeting black women negatively on social media. And it seems as though ever since Kevin Samuels died, he's been trying to, I don't know if he wants to be the next Kevin Samuels, if he wants to be the next person who's famous for disparaging black women and for making someone try to feel a certain way, particularly black women.
First they had Weight Watchers, now you got hate watchers. Let's get it. This is for my lovely young ladies like I hate. Blizzard King, Dennis Sperling. First let's get the record straight. I say it online, I can say it to your face. Not a bully, I'm just mean, know what I mean, no debate. It's time to put some motherfucking knowledge on your plate. Excuse me if I'm vulgar, but a king ain't sweet like cake. Holding court, living court, ladies, you just need a taste of what we've been through, judge will set you up for grape. And I ain't talking no more, I will not put on a cape. I do not confuse shit, we all gotta face reality. You woofing on your men like you an ape. My job is protecting black men up in the space, and also putting rude bitches back up in their place. Cross-examination, yeah, I look good to the race. Man, be a man, nigga, say it with your chest. The soft-spoken men, these lovely ladies don't respect. I can care less, I do not do this for checks. I do this for my sons and the black men I invest. It's time to get what I was, ladies, gotta pay your debt. You're working with the same men who put it round our necks. You're not my sister, not my kind, you a threat. When the weather change, I hope you bitches feel dead. Let this be reminders to the ones who disrespect. We are God's chosen men. When you say Jesus, you mean us.
The only Jesus I know is him, and the one thing he don't need is a partner.
Shut the fuss, we discuss with your fuckery. Past 100 years, you ain't loving me. Who was on the front line fighting? Yeah, fuck is me. Building all them black towns? Yeah, fuck is me. Kicking riots off Michael Brown? Yeah, fuck is me. Now you wanna put us underground, not to fuck with me. Change your plans, baby, you can be replaced. Let freedom ring. No sunny white days, Martin Luther King. Single mama program chip for the simp queen. Mother goddess only gon' destroy us. It's the Blizzard King. Blizzard King. The Blizzard King. Hate watch on the Blizzard King. Blizzard King. It's the Blizzard King. The Blizzard King. The Blizzard King. The Blizzard King. Hate watch on the Blizzard King. It's the Blizzard King. It's the Blizzard King. It's the Blizzard King. Hate watch on the Blizzard King.
That's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Fire. Kosherclinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues, absent fathers who miss you, mama drama don't kiss you, all a part of the ritual, this is how they get you, separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to, damn, lovers, haters, acting like vultures, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher, if it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Consultations. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Consultations. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Consultations. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Consultations. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen.
All right, guys, bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State. We're going to have a good show on tonight. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, hit 1. But this is going to be a good one, guys. Dr. Dudley and I are going to do an execution. Not an execution, but an exorcism. We're going to do an exorcism on the night. We're going to do an exorcism. Because some of these women think that their past don't matter, and the only thing they gotta say is that Jesus forgave me. And while Jesus forgave you, and that's good, your soul might be saved, but that box is still a sinner. Get your pens and paper ready, guys. We're about to drop the fire for your mind on tonight. Let's do it.
Friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night.
Something ominous is going on in America. The modern black woman forgot to ask the black man what he wanted. How can you have a community where there's black love without consent. We forgot to ask the black man what he wanted. And how can you have a community when that's not a point of consideration? What say you?
Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. Some people go to war for none. Me, I go to war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. When my friends go, it was simple. When the end's low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. What would you do for a win? What would you do for your friends? What if this life is a foe? What if it alls pretend? What if you roll to the end? What if you started again? This is real life, not a game. I fight my battles to win. But some people go to war for none. Me, I go to war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. Some people go to war for none. Me, I go to war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. When my friends go, it was simple. When the end's low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night.
All right, guys, I gotta adjust my head on this one, man. I gotta look up to the sky because it's gonna take a lot of faith on the night. So if you tenderhearted, you about to say your prayers because it's about to get real deep. It's about to get real deep. Dr. Man, what's going on, homie?
Talk to me.
Yeah, we about to go. We about to go.
We about to perform
go.
Dog, we about to perform a
nothing but a singing hoe, a shouting hoe, a organ playing hoe, a choir director hoe.
We about to go.
Go to church now. Go to church.
All right, Doc. Listen. This is gonna be a good topic, and we're gonna shame the devil on the night. And Doc, the reason why this show is dear to me is dear to me for a myriad of reasons, Doc. Because I firmly believe, Doc, you can't have a community until you consent with the man that you intend to marry. You can't have black love, Doc, without consent. And what I mean by that, the modern woman have forgotten to ask the modern man what he wants in a relationship. They'll say their past don't matter, but that's illogical because you know, Doc, and I know that your past matters. When you go to school, they look at your academic past. When you go to the banks, they look at your financial past. When you go to the church, they want to know your spiritual past. When you go to the clinic, they want to know your health past. But for some reason, Doc, they don't want to talk about the relationship past. And the reason why they don't want to talk about it, Doc, because they don't care what the black man wants. They don't care about what you want, but they don't want you to judge their past, but they are judging your future. They compare their value system against yours, and they minimize what you value while aggrandizing what they value. And Doc, I believe that you can't have a strong black community until you consent like we do in the clinical world and ask the black man, what does he want? Because in fair exchange, Doc, there is no robbery. The fair exchange that the woman wants is a provider and a protector. But the fair exchange that the man wants, he wants a woman that's chaste and a woman that's feminine. But all too often, Doc, they have conflated how men and women think. And because of that, Doc, it's led to what I call a fly in the ointment. And the fly, Doc, is the modern woman, because just like TLC said, they said in the past, because I creep. All right, Doc, what's your take on what I said, Doc? And how do you think this applies to the modern woman and relationships?
Yeah. Are you hearing me well?
I hear you perfect, man.
All right, great. Yeah, you know, goodness gracious. I mean, this is it's just ridiculous that folks would actually expect that they could do anything that they want to do prior to being with you, and that somehow that's not going to mean anything. Mm-hmm. And I'd argue that modern women are not only judging your future and deciding if they're going to be with you based on your future, they're doing that by looking at your past.
Right.
Right? Because who you are today is based on decisions that you have made in the past. Mm-hmm. So they themselves even know better than that. But, you know, you're supposed to just take whatever and be happy and be all right with that.
Nope. Shout out to my man Top Gun. He said, God bless the germs and the devil eat the worms. I appreciate it, man. And then also shout out to the good therapist. He said, keep up the great content. And that's a deal, right? And the good therapist, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream, sir. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you, the good therapist. Thank you, brother.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
One of the things, Doc, that I see in modern and contemporary times is this. It's a lack of self-awareness. And one of the culprits to Jesus forgave me and you can't judge my past is because, one, they're in denial. They are in denial about their past. They use Jesus as a scapegoat to recuse them of their past. And they minimize what the man wants while magnifying what they want because they're slaves to their selfishness. And Doc, in the past, it was just normal that women gave men what they wanted. Their mothers taught them to give the man what he wanted in a relationship. But now, Doc, men have been so browbeaten that they'll say you're insecure. But watch this, Doc. Could you imagine a time, Doc, if a man told a woman that he don't make a certain amount of money, well, you're this insecure. You're this insecure that I don't make a certain amount of money. You're this insecure that I make $10 an hour. But when a man say, I want a woman that's chaste or got low bodies or as pure as possible, then she'll say, you're insecure and you're judging me. But see, here's the problem with that, Doc. That woman is judging you because not only is she judging you against herself, she's judging you against her value system. And because her value system is not congruent to your value system, then she'll say something is wrong with you, and you're weird, or you're not used to having women. And then you got simps that'll lie to them, Doc, and tell them what they want to hear. And in the process of telling them what they want to hear, they continue this circular argument where you continue to have black love without consent, because it's the minimization of what the man wants, and it's the magnification of what the woman wants. And Doc, we know that God can forgive people of their past. That's not the argument. But if you hide things about your past, man or woman, and then you use Jesus as a scapegoat, then not only will you suffer the wrath because you disobeyed God to lie, but now you're going to suffer the wrath of that man. Because I jokingly say, Doc, your soul might be saved, but your box is a sinner. Because you didn't ask that black man what he wanted. What's your take on what I'm saying, Doc?
Yeah.
She belongs to the streets.
Yeah. So I have to say, the judgment, only God can judge that foolishness. It says in this book, Jesus tells us to judge a tree by its fruit.
Right.
You judge a tree by its fruit. So, okay. So if you have, if you got 50 bodies, then
she belongs to the streets.
And I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to accept that. I'm working hard. I just posted on my community tab my 3 degrees.
Right.
My undergrad, my master's degree, and my doctorate. Now, that was a lot of work, a lot of effort put forth.
Right.
So I'm supposed to do all that work, get myself to 6 figures, keep myself in shape. I'm supposed to have swag, mouthpiece, all of this type of stuff. And you don't even have to keep your body count down.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, man. It don't make no sense because Doc, they love to creep. They love to creep, Doc. You remember, Doc, when they were in college, they loved to creep. Did you? They were in college, Doc. They love to creep. Did you see them creeping, Doc, when you was at Ohio State? At the Ohio State, I got to put the D on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. Look. Expectations for a man of value seem to be very much different than the expectations for what they consider to be a woman of value.
Right.
And I'm not and look, people are allowed to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
But don't try to pass off something that it isn't. If you've been ran through, then you've been ran through. And if you think that a man of value, a man of substance, is supposed to treat that as if it's a non-issue, no. What if she's only half a 3 or 4?
That's like
152.
That's like asking, is he only half? That's like asking, is he only half a provider?
Right. Yeah. It's It's too bad. But the thing that's really, I think, terrible about this, it's not that women in the world, as it were, it's not that women in the world are doing this. Of course they are. And they have unrealistic expectations. But the women in the church are doing this too.
Right.
Women that grew up in church that know better. Women that had both of their parents in their lives. Women that rebelled against the guidance of their father, ran their body count up, had their hoe phase, and then they've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb.
Right.
And now you're supposed to, in addition to God forgiving them, you're supposed to forgive them.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I can forgive you. Look, I can forgive you from a distance.
And let me expound on that, Doc.
I don't need to be. We don't need to continue fellowship.
If a woman, Doc, shares everything up front, and you accept it, then you can't hold it against her. But if that woman lies to you and then say, Jesus forgave me, you can't use that as a scapegoat. Because now not only are you lying on the grace of God, but also you're trying to shame that man to justify your bad behavior. And it happens so many times, Doc. It happens so many times because many are in denial and many want to scapegoat the faith to justify their bad behavior. And one of the things I've said before in the past, Doc, consistent with theology, is this. The good book said you're going to reap what you sow. And Teddy Pendergrass, Doc, said it better than me. Teddy Pendergrass said, you can't hide from yourself. Teddy said, you're going to reap what you sow, Doc. And many of them think that they can have fun in their glory years, but then all of a sudden, you as a man and the men that made good choices supposed to accept it. And Doc, what many don't understand is this. They don't understand how men are wired. Men by nature are not wired to have the thought of multiple men going to something that they value. Men are not wired to accept it. We know nobody's not perfect, and we know that people are human. But you got to get consent from that man and see if that man can accept that. If that man can accept it, then you got to suffer the recompense of your bad behavior. What's your take on what I just said?
I totally agree. Hiding stuff from someone that is attempting to ascertain if they can trust you, if they can depend on you, if you're going to be a good choice for them for their future, if you're going to be a good mother for their children, is reprehensible. You have folks out here like Shira 7, for instance, telling women not just to hide their body count. She has them hiding that they even have kids until the man has fallen in love. Then once he falls in love, then you tell him that you have kids. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they know that it's not a good deal. They know that it's not a good deal. That's why they're lying about that's why they lie about if they have kids or not, because they know it's a bad deal.
Right. I totally agree. Doc, when I press those buttons, can you hear it or you can't hear it? I press a couple of sounds.
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear it?
Yeah. You
don't hear anything?
No, I'm not hearing it. No.
Okay, I got to figure it out. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But anyway, but many, Doc, are in denial. And see, Doc, let me tell you something. You know better than me. There is a percentage, Doc, a percentage of women. There's a percentage, Doc, that have, how can I say it? They have had bisexual relationships. Now imagine if a man told a woman that I slept with men before I got with you, but Jesus forgave me. They can't forgive that man because that man has been not only penetrated, Doc, but his back box has been open. And wait, hold on, my Doc. And when that man say, he said, the Lord delivered me, Doc. They don't want to hear.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
Yeah, Doc. They ain't gonna forgive that man. If that man said Jesus forgave me, it's in my past, they're not gonna forgive that man for his past. They're not gonna forgive him, Doc. They're not gonna forgive him. And they might say that's different, but it's not different. It's different from a gender dynamic, but it's not different, Doc, from a man's perspective. You both been penetrated. You've been penetrated by a man, and he's been penetrated by a man. But the problem is, Doc, if a woman did the same thing with a woman, some guys can look past it. They can look past it a little better. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so, oh goodness. And you know, you can probably hear some people's thoughts. The whole, you know, women tend to be on balance. The bisexual thing seems to be closer to most women, even if a woman is heterosexual. Many women have had all kinds of crazy stuff in college. We know that to be the case. Not so much with men. Tends to be that if men are sleeping with men, then that's pretty much a wrap. But from a fairness perspective, from a what should be excused, as it were, what's expected to be excused, it's absolutely the same thing. And it's a little bit of like this sort of conditional femininity argument, you know, because if a dude shows up all feminine, switching and stuff, walking around like that, obviously that's going to be a deal breaker and a problem from the beginning. He can't just say, hey, well, well, you know, you show me that you have the goods, and you know, then I'll show you that my true masculinity. That's not going to work. But anyhow, yeah. So I have an issue with that. I've got an issue with again stuff that is obviously not fair. We're not talking about equal playing field. They know that it's not right. And shout out to Donovan Sharp. Something that Donovan says that, you know, it's hard to quantify if this is actually true or not. But the way that he treats this is Donovan will say, these modern women have been with more women than the average guy has been with women. And but you're supposed to just look past that and treat it like, well, you know, they were just
yeah, and it's unfortunate. Go ahead, Doc.
Indication of future behavior is past behavior.
Yes, sir. Right. Shout out to my man Top Gun for the 5. He said God burned Sodom and Gomorrah, and these Jezebels think they can change God's law. Do yourself a favor, fellas, and don't look back and become salt. And you're dynamite. I appreciate it. And Princess C is right there. 2 types of favor. There's favor of godly favor, and there's a favor of man. A man's favor, a man's requirement, and God's are not the same. And shout out to my dear sister Bella Rings for the 2. But also shout out to the #1 sponsor of the stream, my man The Quiet Storm for the $50 cash app. And The Quiet Storm, he is the #1 sponsor of this stream. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir.
It's the money.
Hey, I'm going to. Can you take me off the screen? Give me about 3 minutes. I'm getting some jittering and stuff. I'm going to restart and come back. So just give me about 3 minutes.
All right, that's fine, Doc. I'll take you off. But yeah, guys, this conversation is important, guys, because I'm a firm believer that you can't have black love without consent. You can't have black love without consent. You gotta ask the black man what he wants in a relationship and stop assuming what he wants and stop thinking that you can use the Bible as a scapegoat to justify your past. While God does forgive you a sin, you still gotta reap what you sow. And people just don't get it. The only way and the only time your past can be forgiven is when you come to that man or that woman and you ask that man, does their past go against your value system? If your past don't go against their value system, then God forgave you and that man forgave you. But if your past goes against their value system, now you got a problem. Because you never consented, I got permission from the black man to ask him what he wanted. Because once again, guys, fair exchange, there is no robbery with fair exchange. There is no robbery when you consent to a man and ask a man what he wants. And see, women of the past understood that. They understood that there was inherent value in maintaining their virtue. And men are not saying you gotta be perfect. We're not saying you gotta be perfect. But you will feel some kind of way if a man lied to you about your financial status and you told that man said that he was a millionaire, he could take care of you. And then when you got with that man lied and said, well, I'm really bankrupt. Well, conversely, men feel the same way when you lie to them about how many bodies you had. Because men and women don't see things the same. Our fair exchange is our resource and our provision. Your fair exchange is femininity and being chaste. But see, when black men say what they want, once again, they'll try to shame you and say you're insecure. And guess what, man? You should feel not safe if you had a woman that's had 100 bodies, she's been ran through, and men have had their way with her. No man should have to settle for that. Because see, women don't want you to settle. Women don't want to settle, but they want you to settle. And one of the problems that we're seeing now, guys, is that many women are conflating the market. And what they fail to understand is that men dictate what they want in the relationship. The man is the buyer and the woman is the seller. The question is, ladies, what are you selling? What are you selling to your future husband? Because some will say, well, that was in my past and that was before you, but watch this, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Yes, it was in your past. But that's why it's called fornication, because It basically means you're not preserving yourself for your future husband. You didn't know who your husband was going to be. That's why it was your responsibility to preserve your virtue for your future husband. But see, many don't do it. And they'll damn shame you. They've been ran through. They'll say, well, they'll tell you what they deserve. They'll say what they deserve and what you should give them. And then you got these simps that say, well, you're not a real man if you don't accept my kids, if you don't accept all these bodies and all the damn damage that I've been with. Because they don't care about what you want. They only care about what they want. And that's why men got to start raising the standards. You got to start raising the standards and say, you don't meet my standards, because they will judge you based on your height. They will judge you based on your financial issues. They'll judge you based on your phallus and all of that. So they want to dictate to you what the market is. And you're going to hear this woman talking about you're insecure. Well, yes, a man shouldn't feel safe putting his meat in a woman that's been squirted in by multiple men. I wouldn't feel safe. So if that makes me insecure, then damn it, I'm not secure. I'm insecure. Hold tight, Doc. I'm going to bring you back, man. Hold on. Hold on, Doc. Because we got to start having these conversations, Doc. I mean, cogent conversations where men get their needs met, Doc. You got a son. And you're going to want your son to get the best bang for his buck. But see, Doc, once again, there is no fair exchange anymore, because once again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance, Doc. And a lot of it, Doc, is tied into a thinking disorder called egocentria. They are delusional. You can tell them what men want. I can tell them what men want. Men in this space can tell them what men want. Because they got egocentria, Doc. They can't hear what you're saying. They got egocentria, Doc, because they don't want to hear what the man is saying. You can show them the evidence, but because they're delusional and they've never been taught to value what men want, then they continue to have a circular argument inside their head. And Doc, you know and I know these women that have had a lot of partners, they really don't make good wives because they're used to being with so many men. And so sex now, it's boring to them. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so men and women are different in many ways. Okay, and I know it's almost like a cancelable offense to admit that men and women are different. But we are very different. Men are capable of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Eat the same food, put the same pair of pants on, have a closet full of a shirt that's the same color. Men can do that kind of thing because that is part of what a man is: structure, discipline, organization, those kinds of skills. Now, that doesn't mean that women can't have those skills, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't find an outlier, either a man or a woman, that the woman has those skills or the man does not have those skills, okay? But on the balance of averages, for the most part, men tend to be able to do the same thing over and over. Women, on the other hand, tend to be easily bored, okay? And so they want to change the color of paint in the house. They want to change the couch. You know, they're trying to upgrade the house. You know, oh, I had this car for 2 years. I want another car now. I want something different. You know, I got this, you know, I got 50 bags. I need another bag because it's a little bit different. Right. You know, I got 100 pair of shoes. Let me get another pair of shoes because they're a little bit different. Women tend to be bored more easily. The reason that you don't wife up a 304 is because you know what a 304 does when they get bored.
When they get bored, right. I totally agree, man. I agree with you 1,000,000%. Shout out to my man Kevin White for the $10 cash app. And that's a deal, right? I appreciate it, Kevin White. Thank you, sir.
That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Doc, when you hear black love without consent, can there really be a vibrant black community, Dr. Thunder, if the modern woman never consents to ask the black man what he wants? Because, Doc, when you go back and look at your grandmother and your mother and your great-grandmother, they didn't tell the man what he wanted. They became what that man wanted. And because they became what that man wanted, Doc, one will argue that those relationships were better, Doc, because they were able to bond and cleave to that one man. But see, Doc, the modern woman have cleaved to many men. She's cleaved to Raekwon. She's cleaved to Madman. She cleaved to Chorenzo in college, the quarterback of the football team. She cleaved to Dexter. She cleaved to a lot of men. And by the time you got her, Doc, she was a damaged woman. All her virtue was gone. And you didn't get anything in return, but then they'll tell you, you're just supposed to accept it because it's in their past. But watch this, Doc. Let you tell that woman that I lost my job a week ago, and then you tell her, well, that's in my past. Tell that woman that's in my past. Or tell her, Doc, that in your past, Jesus forgave you, but also in your past, you slept with some Kappas, and now you're delivered.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Man, that's a real man. Don't want his wife out in the street looking like a prostitute.
But Doc, if a man came to a woman and say, I'm delivered, and I don't like men's, not men, Doc, but men's with a Z, I don't like men's no more, I'm delivered. That woman ain't gonna forgive that man. Even if that man told her that God forgave me, and that's in my past. But for some reason, when it comes down to what a man wants, it's minimized and it's held under a level of shame and obscurity. Talk to the people, Doc.
Yeah, something. So it should be a different conduct. I mean, Jesus forgave me. It should be a different level of conduct. You were talking about how it used to be that the woman would become what the man wanted.
Right.
She was moldable into what the man wanted. And based on the way that we are physiologically designed, even the way that we're designed as far as our sex organs, it's not just metaphor of what it used to be, the tendency in the past. Women would sort of morph themselves and be malleable around a strong man.
Right.
Okay. Now, you have, and shout out to BGS Ibmore on this, you have Marriage 1.0 and Marriage 2.0. Marriage 2.0 is all about a bunch of trivial stuff that doesn't actually matter. Common interests, the same take on some particular passage of scripture, chemistry, we have the same color. Our zodiac signs are in alignment. All of this type of stuff that's trivial and has nothing to do with if the relationship's going to actually work or not. I tell people, frankly, what keeps people married is that they refuse to get divorced. That's what keeps you married, because you're going to have issues, you're going to have problems, you're going to have challenges. And So marriage 2.0 does not work. Relationship 2.0, partnership does not work. Marriage 1.0, you could have two people that, for all intents and purposes, didn't even like each other. They started off, they didn't even like each other. Maybe they'll grow to like each other and love each other over time, but they had been both trained so well to fulfill their role, the role as a wife, their role as a husband, that they could develop a thriving legacy, a legacy of, prosperity, children, everybody stays married, all of that for generations and generations. But that's not what we're doing now. Now folks want to have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
They want to test it out first to see if it's going to be any good. Now you actually have women getting online and making videos saying that they don't think that their relationship can work if the sex ain't no good.
Right.
If the sex is trash, then we can't make it work.
Yes, sir. Right.
And it's like, dude, first of all, and I'm not trivializing sex. I'm not saying that it's not an issue. But what I am saying is that was never a disqualifying issue in the past. The stuff that was most important stayed most important.
Right. I see your point. Guys, get the likes up, guys. Donate to the channel and support the stream, guys. Content takes a lot of time. It took me a lot of hours to put this show together, and show your support to the 43 that are watching. I need at least 5 guys to share this stream because it's going to make a lot of sense, guys. And Doc, once again, we're not saying that God can't forgive a person. As I said earlier, if the man you talk to can accept you, then your past don't matter because it doesn't go against his value system. But if it goes against his value system, now you got a problem. And it's an insult, Doc, because as you said, you work hard to become Dr. Thunder. I work hard to get all these degrees, man. And while you were studying, while I was studying, while a lot of men were studying, a lot of these chicks were on campus having fun. And they had camp fun off campus. But now all of a sudden, Doc, they want you just to forgive it, almost like loan forgiveness. I call it whole forgiveness. Just like loan forgiveness, Doc. They want you to forgive it. But the problem is, Doc, many simps tell these women that their past don't matter. And we're going to see it right here, Doc, whole time.
Who on they square and pursuing their business and walking in there and what they supposed to, them is not asking your body count.
So you saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count.
Ooh. Oh Lord! No, we didn't.
This has been tonight.
I feel so bad because I don't lie to this man about my body count. I told his ass I only got 7.
Me personally, it's childish. A girl's past should never matter, and it doesn't matter to me. If you're a girl and you agree with me, DM me.
And Doc, these lying simps and lying preachers keep these women in a state of arrested development. But in the meantime, Doc, we got a big heavy hitter. My man, the architect for the $200 hitter. The architect always show him love. I call him the man behind the scene. I call him the Phantom Watcher. And Doc, the architect is supplying us with ammunition, Doc, to slay the devil. Shout out to the architect for the $200 hill. He said, imagine if holding women to a standard the same way they do with men, then go out of style in many Western churches these days. Thanks for another balanced sermon / therapy. Jeez, keep going, no doubt, man. And the architect, the seventh architect, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Shout out to my man, Deshaun Wilson for the 2. I appreciate Deshaun Wilson for the 2. Thank you, sir. But we're going to get deep into it. And guys, go check out Dr. Thunder. Go hit the sandwich farm. Dr. Thunder been killing him lately. That's actually, me looking at Dr. Thunder is what made me find out about this situation. And Coach Greg Adams also talked about it, Doc. But Doc, let's look at this analytically, Doc. Let's look at it analytically. Because, Doc, the question would be, did women, when you talk to your mom and your grandmom, and maybe your great-grandmom when she was living, is it fair to say that the women of the past consented to what men wanted? And based on your anecdotal observation, it's also fair to say that those relationships were better?
Oh, definitely it was better. Mm-hmm. It's way better. And we know that women, as far as their satisfaction, their feeling complete, feeling whole, feeling as if their life has meant something, there was a much deeper sense of purpose and meaning and all of that kind of stuff, because in balance, people were less selfish. They were willing to give themselves up for a higher purpose. They were not so concerned about getting every little thing that they want. And also because there weren't as many options, it forced people to have to mature and make an option that was adequate, make it work. Now we have it's like an embarrassment of riches issue, where there are so many options that it's folks are, squandering and laboring in sort of what was the word? They're having a hard time making that final decision.
Right.
And then even when they do make a decision, it's too easy to get out. And so it's really created a bad scenario. We know that women are on more drugs for mental issues and for emotional issues these days than they ever were. So it's a simple solution. Doesn't mean that it's easy to do, but it's a simple solution. You have to die to self. You have to say, hey, other stuff is more important than me. Other stuff is more important than what I want this second, or than this sort of titillation and euphoria that I need to experience every single second of the day. There's other stuff that's more important than that. And yeah, but that's my sense of it.
Yeah, I agree, man. We gonna get deep into it, Doc. I need to figure out, Doc, how they hook up the stream deck to the stream. I don't know how you do it. Maybe I'll figure it out from you at some point. But I'm trying to hook up the stream deck to the stream. But I don't know if I did something wrong. But anyway, Doc, I use a concept called the open box principle. And I came up with three principles, Doc. One is called the open box, one is called the penetration principle, and one is called the Matthew Henson principle. The Matthew Henson principle, Doc, says that when you go to the mountaintop, you are expected to be the only person that place your pole inside the earth. You want to be the only one that place that flag in the earth. But the second one, once again, is the penetration principle. Men by nature, Doc, want to conquer. It's in our nature to win. We want to conquer. And so when you think of a woman, you don't want to have the thought of other men conquering her. You don't want to have the thought of a woman giving a man the most intimate parts of her body, because it goes against our nature. Just like it goes against their nature. If a man told a woman that he was entered by another man, women can't handle that because women want to look up to a man. But the third one, Doc, is called the open box principle. And the open box principle, Doc, is predicated on the law of diminishing return. What the modern woman does, Doc, she takes the box, she puts it on display, she opens the box, let the buyer look inside the box, close the box, and then she put it back on the market again. Then she take the box again and put it back on the market, another person open the box, close it, and then she keeps putting the box on display, but the box has been opened by many potential buyers. And therefore, Doc, it's called the law of diminishing return. Because the more people that sample and open that box, then the value is going down precipitously. Why is it, Doc, that many don't understand that? And sadly, these women that we're going to look at that are so-called Christians, they minimize what men want. It doesn't make any sense because Dr. Oz said, Dr. Drew Pinsky said, men are not wired to accept it. We're not. We're just not wired to accept it. Well, what's your take on those three profound statements that I just said? Open box, Matthew Henson, and the penetration principle.
Yeah, no. I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, if you're, so I go to Best Buy often. I dig Best Buy, and historically, I really went there a lot. And they used to have this thing. And it was the first place that I used to see this was at Best Buy. It was called an open box buy.
Yes.
And what this was is people had used the device, had returned the device. There was nothing wrong with it, but they couldn't sell it for the same price.
Right. They couldn't sell it for the same price, right.
Because it was an open box buy, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll also see on the market, you'll see what's called refurbished. Mm-hmm. And so refurbished unit is it's been thoroughly washed by the blood of the lamb and been redeemed and everything. And then they can sell it, but I'm joking. No, refurbished is when something has been used for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. Quite a long time. And so it's bought back or comes back to the company. Then the company goes inside the unit and replaces the critical components, but leaves some of the more expensive components that were not damaged. It leaves those in there and then sells it again, but again, cannot be sold for the same price.
Right.
All right. Now, often is the case that a refurbished item will still have a warranty, but it still cannot be sold for the same price. Then you have used items, and I'm a gear junkie, right? I like technology stuff, guitars. There's guitars on the wall behind me, and those frequently change. So if you go and look at videos that I have, those guitars keep changing because I'll sell a guitar and I'll go and I'll buy another one. And often is the case that I'll find something at a used price. And for that item, no harm, no foul. It's at least new to me. Right. Here's the issue though, with this new to me is the same as new with respect to with respect to someone that you're trying to develop a legacy with, someone that you need to be able to trust. Their physical, what you see of them physically is not the only thing that is altered when they've been with somebody else. It's their spirit. It's it's them emotionally, psychologically, and it's stuff like microchimerism.
Microchimerism, right.
Where literally all of the men that a woman has been with, at least unprotected, all the men that a woman has been with, DNA from that man will remain in their body lifetime. It remains in their body lifetime. We know this to be true because they have conducted experiments and they know where to look now in their spinal cord in particular and in their brain. They open up cadavers and they can find sperm on the brain literally. Okay, so this idea that body count doesn't matter is false. It's fallacious. It is wrong. And it's unfortunate that to share this information like we are, people just turn this off. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about or whatever. Everything's fine. And, that's misogyny. It's not misogyny. It's called science.
Right.
It's called science. Microchimerism is science. Okay. So you can do whatever you can say whatever you want to say. Me reporting facts, scientific facts, medical facts, that is not misogyny. That is arming men with the information that they need to know. You can decide to wife up a 304 if you'd like to. That's up to you. And you may have a good reason for that. All right. Here's another issue I want to bring up. When you talk about forgiveness, forgiveness requires repentance. Repent means to rethink. That means you actually regret former behaviors. If you've been ran through and you still telling people it doesn't matter how many bodies, and matter of fact, only God could judge, and as a matter of fact too, I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't be that I am now.
Right. Insult.
If I didn't have all these bodies, well, I had to learn what it was that I wanted. I had to learn what I like. And that took a lot of experimentation. If they're saying stuff like that, then they have not been forgiven. They have not been forgiven because they have not repented. Repentance is prerequisite of forgiveness. It's prerequisite of forgiveness. You must have contrition. You must feel bad. You must feel bad for what it is that you've done. And if you look at the 12 steps for like alcoholism, one of the things along there is what's the word? It's when you go back to a person that you have wronged and you apologize to them. What is this called? Well, I can't remember what the somebody can probably put this in the chat. Folks know what I'm talking about. But you go back to the person and you actually apologize and you try to make up for what it was that you did to them wrong. How many of these exes that these women have let run through them, and the ones that they cheated on, have they gone back to and apologized and said, look, I was a hot mess. I had I didn't realize what I was doing to you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better now. See, that stuff is required for forgiveness. And now I'll say, if somebody has made some mistakes in the past, but they have actually repented and they've changed their ways, okay, you can have a shot, you can have a chance, but that's not what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like to me that a lot of them don't take ownership and they glorify the bad behavior. But even with that, even if they do repent, once again, Doc, they still got to ask that man if that's part of his value system. Just because you repented, you know, if that man doesn't want that, you can't give it to him. He can love you as a human being, but that goes against his value system. That's a problem. And they equivocate God's forgiveness with the forgiveness of man. Forgiveness don't mean reconciliation. You can forgive a person, be cool with them, but you don't have to accept them, you know, for that behavior, man, woman or man. Because once again, Doc, if a man came to a woman and said, I've been with a man, God forgave me for my past, that woman's not going to forgive that man, Doc, because that woman's going to say this.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
They ain't gonna forgive him, Doc.
Nope.
Yeah. Ren McKinley,
right,
making amends. That's what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Making amends. Mm-hmm. That's one of the 12 steps for alcoholics. Making amends. We need to come up with a an actually redeemed 304.
Right.
12-step plan.
Right. That's plan.
You know,
we're gonna call it whole covering.
Oh no.
Hey, so Doc, we about to go down the rabbit hole, guys. Get the likes up. And me and Doc gonna break this thing down surgically. Because denial are thought distortions, scapegoating, minimization of the man, magnification of the woman, being delusional. And Doc, I think we covered some of the points, but we're gonna break this thing down, Doc, because once again, the forgiveness of God has nothing to do with whether you can have a relationship with a man. That's between you and God. Now, if God touched that man's heart, and God showed that man that woman is okay for him, then so be it. That man can accept, but in general, they'll use Hosea. They said that Hosea was married to a whore. Well, that's Hosea. I didn't get that special visitation. That's Hosea.
That's not your ministry.
I'm not part of the whole ministry, man. Because what they don't understand, Doc, is this. Men and women are wired different, and it's not, Doc, that I don't think men won't want to accept it, but just like God got a holy nature, men have a very masculine nature. God has a nature that's holy, and even though I'm not trying to compare the nature of man to the nature of God, I'm trying to show a correlation that God is wired for holiness. Men are wired to conquer, and it's hard to have thoughts of somebody else conquering your woman. And so I'm going to show you something, Doc, because we're going to go into the rabbit hole. So guys, get the likes up, donate to the channel, share the stream. Doc, if you're ready, guys, if y'all ready to go down the rabbit hole with me and Doc, hit 1. But in the meantime, get your tickets ready for the Black Manosphere Conclave. Get your tickets.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, With so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything with nothing.
Doc, the men that got standards, some of these women will say, he got a little penis energy, he's insecure, he's not a real man. Well, and Doc, hold on, the caveat, guy, listen, guys, hold on, Doc. When they tell you guys, you got a little penis energy, this is a public service announcement. Tell them, no, sweetie, I don't have little penis energy. I don't have little penis energy, dear. You got big box energy. And on that note, Doc. They got big box energy, Doc. They got big box energy, Doc. But the shaming language, Doc. We about to go down the rabbit hole, Doc. We're about to go down the rabbit hole, Doc. But what do you get from this conversation, Doc?
Yeah, so see, the way this thing is supposed to be is from the beginning, and this is understandably, this is the Christian perspective on this, the Abrahamic perspective, is that it was supposed to be one man and one woman lifetime. One man and one woman lifetime. Now, we messed it up. We screwed this thing up. And at least folks have turned it into, at least they've turned it into serial monogamy, right? Not monogamy. Monogamy is one man, one woman, lifetime. That's monogamy. Serial monogamy is, let me get with you, I'll break up with you, or get with somebody else, break up with them, get with somebody else, get with somebody else. That's serial monogamy. In the Bible, that's called a whore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's whoremongering. That's being a whore, right? That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, multiple partners, that's called, even if it's one at a time, that's called a whore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's whoremongering. That is not what is intended, in the Christian perspective. Now, what we have done is greasy grace. You've been forgiven. We'll give you another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But what they're doing in the past, what they used to do, if they messed up and they got another shot, they recognized that they were lucky to get another shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they treated the guy with respect. I so appreciate that you took me, even though I messed up, even though I have some bodies. Okay. Thank you so much for taking me. And they made sure that they made a real go of it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just expected that you take it. Matter of fact, you remember this brother that was on the OWN network, and he was talking about being a high value man, and he was raised by a single mother, but he didn't want to repeat the cycle. And they was trying to criticize him and stuff and saying, well, you were raised by a single mother, so why don't you want to get with a single mother? And it's totally fallacious logic. Doesn't make any sense. But they try to guilt you into taking a bad deal.
Right.
Right? They're not ashamed of what they have done.
Right.
They're not ashamed that they have fallen short, and they're going to make sure to make it good, to make it work with this next person. They didn't learn from anything. They're just going to drag the same dirt into the next situation, except for it's worse because they got even more bodies now. That's what's happening now, and that's not a sustainable model. That's going to continue to get worse. It's it's a miracle that anyone's relationship can work with all these bodies. You know, it's a miracle that anything can work. You know, so
I agree, man. Shout out to my man Michael Green for the 5. Thank you, sir. You're a dynamite. I appreciate it. And then also shout out the Top Gun. He said, I would like to make to public make. I would like to publicly make amends to those are hurt and addiction to being petty, to the pigeon, Chewbacca, and Sugar Bob, many more scram. You're wild, man. You wild, man.
You got the number right, because you are talking to
wow.
kid. A dynamite!
Wow,
You're
wild.
dynamite!
All right, so Doc, we're about to go down the rabbit hole, Doc. You ready?
I'm ready.
And we're going to break this thing down, Doc. Hold tight. Guys, share the stream. This is a good show. Doc has given some good information. Share the stream, guys.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV, Emasculated. Go get your copy now.
Down the rabbit hole we go. This is the part of the show where we assess, examine, collaborate. All right, guys, Doc, we about to kill it. I just need to make sure. I don't know which file it is, but let's see. Maybe it's this.
Which is a very controversial topic that comes up in dating. When have you ever had a guy ask you, like, so how many people have you had sex with?
Yeah.
I get it all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like after a certain age, it's like, nigga, like,
don't ask me
that.
because you still gonna hit it. You act like it's gonna change your mind. I feel like for men, the ones that ask, they ask to see what category they're gonna put you in.
Yes.
So if you only slept with under 5, which I don't know nobody, I don't know none of y'all who got under 5 bodies.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? Then they're like, oh yeah, she wifey.
Now, Doc, listen to what this woman said. And once again, she's laughing at it. And that goes back, Doc, to black love without consent. They talk about it and laugh with it. You know, I don't know anybody. So, Kevin, can you imagine, Doc, you marching a woman down the aisle, and then she said that a woman that got under 10 can't tell her nothing. But imagine that, Doc. You marching down the aisle, you're supposed to put a ring on her finger and make her feel special. And just let it marinate, Doc, because it's going to make some sense in a minute. Hold tight.
Material.
Yeah.
And then if you tell them 26, they're going to be like, oh, nah, I got to write that off. Or, you know, I'm just going to hit it. Or they might think you're easy or whatever. But it's like, grow up.
Please grow up.
Because every New Year's Eve, the miles reset. That's how I feel.
Doc, that's hoflation, man. Hold on, Doc. That's hoflation. And women like that, Doc, not only is it hoflation, Doc, but she said men grow up. So basically she's minimizing what you want. But a woman like that, Doc, you know what's happened to women like that. She definitely been ran through. Ran through, Doc. She said 26, and she said that the speedometer resets. What's your take on, Doc, hearing this foolishness, man? When you hear this woman, supposed to be a Christian woman, say the things that she say.
Yeah, and I covered this on one of my Rolling Thunder episodes. I think it was last week, actually.
Yeah, I saw it. It was good.
Yeah, and And my man CGA, he watched my show, and then he wanted to cover the same thing, and he actually asked for my permission to cover it, which I thought was, he didn't have to do that.
Right.
But he's a good dude. He's prolific content creator. he's doing all kind of stuff. Shout out to CGA.
Right.
Now, so there's a few things that happen right in just that amount that you played. So one thing that has to be understood is that these girls grew up in church. And from what they said, it seems that they both had both parents.
Mm-hmm.
They grew up in church, black church, of course. They knew better, especially the woman wearing yellow. She knew better, but they were proud and happy to talk about their hoe phase.
Right.
Their hoe phases. And this comment about why does it matter how many bodies? You're going to hit it anyway. Okay? This is coming from a church girl. Okay? The comment, neither of them know anyone. Okay, and all of their friends that they have, and these are successful actresses, neither one of them know anyone with less than 5 bodies.
Right. She said less than 10.
No. She says less than 5.
Well, less than 5. Right.
But then what happens is they're not willing to take advice from an author that admitted that they had 11 bodies.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they wouldn't listen to that person because they needed to grow up and get more bodies first.
Sad.
They can't even learn anything from them because they don't have enough bodies.
Mm-hmm.
They made a statement about not being willing to deal with a dude that doesn't have that many bodies. Remember, again, if the D is trash, then it ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So they would rather have the dude spin the block and come back when they have way more bodies to come back to them. Now, of course, if the dude spins the block, there is much more of a chance that they're going to get some sort of STD from this dude. And also, now this dude has learned how to say whatever he needs to say to get whatever he wants to get from you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that he's not spinning plates and not still dealing with these other women, come on.
Mm-hmm. 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 I totally agree, man. I agree.
This is horrible, man. This is terrible.
I got nothing but a singing hoe, a shouting hoe, a organ playing hoe, a choir director hoe.
And unfortunately, the churches are now, it's filled with this sort of, because Christianity preaches forgiveness, there's a lot of folks that are sort of infiltrating the church,
Mm-hmm.
But they're not actually being healed. They're not being sanctified. They're not being purified. They're not even repenting. They're not even repenting for this behavior. They're laughing about not knowing anybody with less than 5 bodies.
Right.
They think it's laughable. It's laughable. You think I can learn something from somebody that only has 11 bodies? They think it's laughable. Their odometer resets every year. They think it's laughable. Why does it matter how many bodies I have anyway? You still going to hit it. They think it's a joke. And this is the common, normal thing. These are church girls, and they're saying that they don't know any women with less than 5 bodies. That's where we at. Man, it's like upsetting. It's upsetting. And one of these women, the one in yellow, she starts talking about how the body count, that's not where their value really is, and and their value is in all of this other stuff that they do. See, once again, they think that they can tell men what men should want.
Right.
You have to take the counsel from the market. The market gets to decide. The market is men. Men are the market. If men say, no, you have too many bodies, then you can disagree with that. You can still think that you have value. And look, I'm not diminishing anyone's humanity, or their value as a person. That's not the point. But what we're talking about here is over the course of a relationship, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to have a lot of challenges. If your woman has been ran through, it's going to be much harder for her to justify sticking around with you.
I agree.
That's just the way that it works.
I agree.
And we know that this is true. We know that this is true. Women that have had less than 3 bodies, they're, or actually women that have had no bodies, they have like an 80% success rate or satisfaction rating in their marriages. If you've had more than 5 bodies, it drops to 20%.
Yeah. I saw somewhere they say, I think if it's over 10, it's not statistically significant between like the 5 to 10, but anything over that, they say anything over 10, they say it starts dropping precipitously. Between the 5 to 10 or the version to 10, statistically significant, it's not as severe. But after that, and it makes a lot of sense, Doc, because they have so many men that can't be satisfied in relationships, a lot of them. And they make it seem like it's the man's fault, but it ain't the man's fault, sweetie. It's been with too many men. And like you said, man, it's disgusting. Hold tight.
They say my phone is deleted.
My phone is deleted.
It's deleted.
Yeah, 2023, baby. I had sex with one man.
No, that's right.
Listen, reset.
That's good. Listen, okay, the resolutions are not the only thing resetting on January 1.
Hello, don't play with me.
I love it. Do you feel like sometimes men are, when they ask the body count, is that an insecurity? Are they picky? Because I know some men, there are some men that have been insecure about the men I've dated, and I like to be honest about it because some of those relationships are with public figures, and I don't want it to come up and be like, well, you never told me about this. But I've had relationships that didn't work because they couldn't stand
And guys, listen, it's not that men are insecure. Men are territorial by nature. Goes back to what Doc was saying earlier. God never really intended. I mean, listen, we all are human. We all make mistakes. But men are territorial. But what I find problematic, Doc, is that they always use the word insecure. They always use the word, Doc, insecure. Now, but once again, if a man told a woman she's insecure about how much money he makes, she's insecure about him being in the mirror more than her, then it would be a problem.
Look at what D says. You was talking about the insecure thing. See, the issue is because they are still in your spine. the microchimerism, right?
Microchimerism, right.
Right. The sperm of your ex is still in your spine. It's still that's not.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hold on.
watching TV and seeing my ex on TV.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
It is, I mean, like, I think a lot of men are insecure, and who I dealt with before you is before you.
Before you.
And if I'm telling you, hey, listen, this is the person that this is I used to deal with them, just so you know, if I ever see this person out, you have the heads up, you have the one up, instead of being like, oh yeah, by the way, in the moment. Then that.
But imagine that woman, Doc, used that same logic. And that woman said, I've been with women, and if I was with a man or woman before you, that doesn't matter. But watch this. But let that man say, Doc, I've been with a man before you too, and I've been with women before you, Doc, and we know what's going to happen.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
Yeah, Doc. And that man tell that woman, I've been with men, and who I've been with in my past before you, and it shouldn't matter. These hypocrites gonna have a problem with it. And many of these modern women, as we said before earlier, Doc, have been with women too. And that's the hypocrisy, Doc, of the modern woman. They don't give a damn about what men want. They don't care about what men want. And that's why relationships don't work. That's why there will never be a black community, because you never consented to what black men wanted, Doc. Hold tight.
That's messed up.
Yes, when you're embarrassed.
I'm not. This is the thing. I'm not with them anymore.
Exactly.
Before you.
Right.
It ain't like but in some situations it could be a baby daddy though. Where it's like they gonna be around.
Listen, that's different.
But you and I don't have any kids, so that don't apply to us.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah.
But a lot of guys, I mean, especially I can imagine like the type of men that you attract is enough to make anybody insecure. You better have your boots strapped on tight. And you better be a confident person, because you are a catch. And you know what I'm saying?
No, it's real though, because I've definitely had men like that. They either insecure about that, they ask me, and I, how like someone be like 3. It was like a number, and like if she say she only had sex with 4 people, she lying. There was like a meme that I saw that said that.
Girl.
But like you said, they still gonna hit it. Like
exactly.
they still gonna probably fall in love.
I saw who was it? Who wrote a book? I don't want to give them press, but I remember somebody wrote a book, and they were talking about the 11 guys that they had sex with, and I was talking to my best friend, and she was like, I ain't even taking advice from a chick that only had sex with 11. She said 11.
There it is.
That's a problem, Doc.
There it is.
That's a problem.
It's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. She was talking about how this guy's in the past. I'm just giving you a heads up on somebody that's in the past. I'm not with them anymore. But because of microchimerism, they're still with you though.
Right.
They're still with you. And this is this is science. Okay, this is science. I don't want to hear about this other stuff, feelings and all like that. That's fine. You can identify as you'd like to. This is science. And the science says that if you've had a lot of bodies, that means you talking about, a man needed to be secure, and the man really needed to be a manly man. He's got to have, he's got to have super sperm to knock the rest of that stuff out of there.
Right.
And here's the other thing, and this is really disgusting.
Wait, hold up, Doc. You're gonna laugh at this one. You're right. Okay. Not only do you gotta have super sperm, but you gotta also have fire for your mind. Fire for your mind. The kosherclinician.
That's right. Because you gotta burn it out of the brain. So, but you got to burn it out the brain. But here, what's also disgusting is this will also impact your lineage.
Right.
Because the distinct genetic material from these other men will be transmitted from the mother to
kids. Right. I agree, and it's sad, but they minimize because they don't understand how it works.
She said, "Grow up." She said, "I'm not even taking that." She said, "I'm not reading that book because there's nothing in there for me."
Exactly.
She's like, "Call me when for a trip." I was crying, but I was just like, "Girl, body count is just Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I feel like for women, we don't care. Like, we want somebody that's been experienced. And you would hope that like a man would want that too, so they can like, okay, please, you know what I'm saying? You learn some.
But Doc, what they don't understand is that, of course, women want a man that's experienced because that man haven't been entered, so women can accept it better. But men don't want a woman that's going to be his wife being used as a damn doormat by multiple men. What's your take on that, Doc? Go ahead.
This again is it's the effect of girl power. Okay, it is the effect of girl power. This liberation, the sexual liberation, all of this kind of stuff, and it convinces people that they are the same when they are not. Men and women are not the same, and design determines function.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, design determines function. And the thing is that I can entertain a discussion. Me and Keep It 100, at one point, we're going to have this nature versus nurture sort of discussion, debate, discussion, whatever you want to call it. I can have that debate and that discussion. But the thing is that this primary difference, this difference in the sexes, is a foundational and fundamental Christian doctrine. Okay, it's a fundamental Christian doctrine that men and women are different, and they're designed to serve different functions.
Right.
Okay, this is a fundamental principle, and these two are church girls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now later on, she's going to even say, the one in yellow, when she start talking about what she wants. She wants a God-fearing and God-honoring man.
Right.
So you've been ran through. You're celebrating your hoe phase.
Right.
You brought another. I'm sorry. You brought another woman on that is celebrating her hoe phase.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Both of you been ran through, but now you want a God-fearing, God-honoring man. Now, if he's God-fearing and God-honoring, he's also going to have an issue with the fact that you're ran through.
Right. Yes, sir. Excellent point. Excellent point. But they don't get it. They don't get it, man. It's like it's contradictory. But they'll tell that same God-fearing man that Jesus forgave me, and because Jesus forgave me, then they're supposed to be okay with it. And as I said earlier, Doc, their soul might be saved, but that box is a dirty sinner. That box is a dirty sinner, Doc. That box is a dirty sinner, man. That box is a dirty sinner.
I think it's the opposite. Like, men, if a girl has a low number, they're like, oh yeah, then I can teach her some things, I can do this and that. Mm-hmm. But if I run into a dude with a low number, oh baby, spin the block. Yeah. Spin the block and come back.
Come back when you learn some things.
Yeah, because I'm not a good teacher.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Are you not?
It
is hard to tell somebody
with all
to do it like this, because I've had somebody like, we're gonna get personal, like go down and like it felt like they were biting me.
Ooh, girl.
Like,
I had somebody gnaw at me down there. They ate it with no time.
Wait, hold on. So, Doc, is this woman saying she had a woman go down on her?
No. She was talking about one of her ex-boyfriends that didn't have very much experience.
Okay, gotcha.
And she's talking about how she's not a good teacher, so she needs a dude to be able to. I'm just see. This is again. It's the hyper selfish nature of this.
Mm-hmm.
The hyper selfish nature of this whole thing. Because sex is not supposed to be the most important thing in a marriage. Now, let's be clear though. Let's be clear. Okay? dudes ain't marrying women unless they giving it up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just state facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If we just going to be friends, in most respects, men are better friends of men than women are, because men and men, they understand each other. We gone through the same stuff. We can talk on a long list of things that men and women are going to tend to see differently. So if you just want to be friends, if you just want to be roommates, I can get a dude for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, so the reason that men want to marry women and are willing to marry women is because of sex. That's 100% true. But the thing is that it's going to be such a small percentage of what it is that you actually do in your marriage. Okay. So even if you're getting it in every day, that's still such a small percentage of the time that you're going to be with your spouse. And over time, that is going to reduce precipitously. It's going to go down and down as you both age.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have some other stuff there in order to keep in order to serve as the foundation. You're going to have a meaning, a purpose that is more important than getting your rocks off. And I'm sorry. This is, the Black community is so sex obsessed. Is so sex obsessed, and our women make these decisions based on stuff that is not important. It used to be, historically, if anything, it would be the guys that would be making decisions based on her sex game. Now it's the women making these decisions based on the thing that is the least important, least impactful thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter as long as dude is functioning and he can produce. He can get you pregnant. As long as that's the case, that's actually the only part of that actually matters in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Be fruitful and multiply. It's the multiply part that actually matters. Okay? All of this, how much pleasure you're getting from the act, all of that stuff is subjective, superficial, and in the long run isn't even that important. But what is important with respects to sex is that it be exclusive. That actually is important.
Right.
And if you want to obscure this or abstract this or not, or treat it like it's not a big deal or not, men in your past is cheating on your future.
Right. Because it limits them, but also it limits their potential husband as well. Because now that man got to deal with the bad choices that you made, and of course, Doc, they'll try to damn minimize it and make it like it's no big deal. They always minimize it.
Yeah. Like, it is hard to tell somebody, no, this is how you need to do it. Yeah. I need you to go and some other people and figure it out. No. Like, seriously. So I feel like it's like a pride thing, an ego thing for men, where they feel like you're more of a prize when you haven't had sex with as many men. And for me, I feel like that doesn't define the prize. It does not. It does not define it. Like, there's so many more components that come into making me the woman that I am that's a gift to you and a blessing to you. Talk about than, you know what I'm saying, what I've done in my bed.
Yes. That doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, when you're with someone and you have a life partner, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might be having sex for a long time. But at some point, yours gonna stop, his gonna stop, and it's just gonna be you guys.
Yes, what do you have after that?
There's been people that I've slept with that I do not enjoy their company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you around here thinking that I'm not a catch, I don't want you anyway.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the person that I'm with now, like,
That's a
We have all the
fallacy she
things.
just
You do.
committed.
Like I love.
Thank you.
Like I love. You be up at 6 a.m. making cupcakes
5:30,
and pancakes.
but no,
She be up
around somewhere around there.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Like, and I love the balance that you have. You still getting it. You a go-getter. You still have your career, but you are up, like making breakfast, making everything. What juicing?
Oh yeah,
you be
making
doing everything.
fresh,
and still twerking at the refrigerator.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, it's like the other people, they didn't get that side of me. So even though you might not be my 1st, you're my first in this space.
Yeah.
Where like I never was like this, and it's not that I wasn't like that, because I feel like all women have that side to them. It's just a man has to bring it out of them. Like the right guy has to bring it out of them, and if they want to be like that or whatever. But I was never like that.
Can I say something?
It's always that one that'll bring.
Yes, sir. Hold tight, Doc.
Yeah, but I wanted to be.
Hold tight, Doc.
They didn't really accept it. It wasn't. It just.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This, you're the one that brought this out of me. I was, I just had to find the right guy. But see, what happens is, it seems as though they seem to find the right guy that makes them, be more whatever around the same time. Rollo Tomasi calls this their epiphany stage. They get to a place where it's like they realize that the clock is ticking, and if they don't get something happening, it's over. Okay. And the woman in yellow, she's in her 40s. The woman, Jasmine Brown, she's, I think, mid 30s, maybe 33, 34, in that range. Okay. Now, one of the things that works against our women more than other women, and in particular more than less melanated women, especially when they don't hardly have any melanation or zero, okay, is the less melanin, the worse you age. Okay. So for instance, white women, they know that they got to get it together. They got to get it together early, because they start looking their age and older than their age very quickly. Our women, because they can stay looking the way that they do, as long as they do, they think they got longer. And so they wait until, they trying to get their buzzer beater, into the game buzzer beater all the time. And it's like, dude, why are we not talking about this? Why are women not being counseled by older women, in the community, to get this stuff together earlier and stop fooling around when you're young and when you should be doing what's necessary to lock something down?
Right.
So it is totally predictable that once they get to a certain age, that they would all of a sudden become something different, because they realize that they got to do something different, or else they're not going to lock anybody down. Period. So
I agree, man. I agree. Hold tight, Doc.
Just didn't work, because that's a real thing too.
It is.
I dated a guy who had mommy issues, and I'm very nurturing, so I'm like,
You are.
I'm like, let me pack your bag, let me do this. He's like, don't touch my stuff, I can do it myself. And I'm just like, okay, strong, independent black man who don't need no woman. I was like, my bad. But I realized, like, I felt like, oh my gosh, like,
where do I fit in?
Yes, because he didn't need that from me, and I'm like, well, dang, okay.
I've had that too.
And then, but I think that full circle moment, the reason why we dated is because I really encouraged him to mend that relationship with his mom.
Wow.
I was like, you got to talk to your mom. You have to tell her how you feel. You have to express to her that, like, you're not okay. And now because you're going to continue to take it out on the women that come into your life and try to be like, not your mom, but like as a partner of when you're dating someone, you might have a little motherly similarities. Absolutely. Where you're like, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to make sure you eat, or just whatever those things are can seem motherly to some people. But if you've never had that, it's foreign to you. You think that I'm just being extra.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Like you're doing too much.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. But he rekindled his relationship with his mom, and I'm happy that I was the reason for that. And then, like, that's it.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to be how I am in my relationship now with him. I was trying, but it was like,
that didn't work like that. It's funny because I was dating a guy and it was similar, and it seems like any guy, because anybody who knows me knows that when I have a man, I'm a wife. Like I'm showing you what you're gonna get.
Oh, girl, you're a wife to your friends.
Oh,
like hello.
And Doc, the indoctrination is so strong. Partner, that word partner. Not understand that a marriage is not a partnership, because you and I can be partners, but a marriage is about duty, and the duty of a partner is totally different than what's expected in a marriage, man. What's your take on that?
Yeah. Partnership. That's marriage 2.0. Marriage 2.0 does not work. Okay. Partnership, coalescing around common interests, common, even common goals, coalescing around, stuff that doesn't matter, stuff like physical attributes, 6 foot tall, 6 pack, 6 figures, all of that kind of stuff. That's, and then the sort of ridiculous expectations, all of that stuff is marriage 2.0, and that stuff is the partnership terminology. Another thing that people need to know about the term partnership is partnership originated as a rainbow term.
Yes, sir, it did. Mm-hmm.
Now, partnership was one of these terms because progressives have been masterful at using vocabulary to change the thought process of the Jewish population.
Right.
And so they use this term partner to normalize same-sex loving relationships, to normalize, because you're using the same terminology, right? And so everybody, really millennials really were the ones that really started using that with regularity first, and then now everybody, and it's spread to everybody, because Gen Xers, boomers, everybody almost is using this partnership term. But that term actually trivializes what it is to be married. It trivializes what's necessary to make a marriage work, and it attempts to obscure the vertical order of protection: God over man, man over wife, wife over children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you have fully embraced this sort of partnership business, and everybody's liberated and everybody has equal rights and all of this stuff, and women can do all the stuff that men can and all like this, then you also can't complain when a man is not willing to protect you.
Right. Yes, sir.
And you certainly should not be complaining if you yourself are not married or are not in a relationship that's headed towards marriage, in a long-term relationship where you are submitted, because a man cannot protect someone he cannot control.
I totally agree. I agree with you 1,000,000%, man. And many don't understand that. And that's why I call it taxation. Taxation without representation.
Thank you. But like I try to show them, like, this is what you're gonna get, and a lot of them couldn't handle it. They weren't in the space to recognize it. And when we break up, years will pass by and they're like, she's the one that got away.
Child, I'm so tired of that.
And I'm like, I know. Like,
I'm so tired of that.
Like, grow up. Like, you just say I wasn't man enough, I wasn't ready.
Would you spin the block?
No, I never spin the block on those guys. No. Because I'm like, you had me and you didn't appreciate it. You show me who you are, I'm good. Yeah, no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you never had like your him?
My him? Well,
when I say like,
I know.
oh, that's him. Like the first person that comes to mind.
Yeah, somebody did come to mind, and it was like a 5-year off and on thing.
Okay,
So
you gotta stop here, man. You gotta stop here.
Ready, but...
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, she just contradicted herself. So she says she'll never let a dude spin the block on her.
Mm-hmm.
But then she says she had somebody on and off again for 5 years, and they kept coming in and out of their life. So which is it? Do you let the dude come back or not? All right. So she started saying she don't let him come back, but then she changed it. And maybe she just didn't remember or whatever. But that's fine. But this is this whole sort of glorifying past relationships as a molding period for your future husband business. That is debaucherous in every possible way. Mm-hmm. That is just, I mean, it's disgusting. I don't want any thought in my mind associated with this dude that used to, that you used to interact with, that he in any way was part of forming you into the person that you are now. Okay? No, I don't want anybody else forming you.
Right.
Because I'm a man. Mm-hmm. I want to be the person that is forming you.
Right.
And that you're molding to, that you're changing and adjusting for. Mm-hmm. So that's just nobody wants that. And people will be like, oh, that's insecure and that's not realistic. And all, you can say whatever you want to say. I don't care. But no man in his heart of hearts wants to be competing with the specter.
Exactly. Exactly. And they don't understand it, Doc. And when you try to tell them what you want, you try to tell them what's important to you, they just minimize it. They just minimize it, man. And I think that's why relationships are so broken now. I think that's why so many relationships are broken, man.
Yeah.
She would come back in and out of my life for 5 years, and it was just like maybe he's ready this time. Maybe he's ready to receive what I have to give him and what I know I can offer. Yeah. But yeah, we're not. It's nothing now. Like,
where you at? You're stupid. What's wrong with you? And you know what's messed up? It's like guys like that will ruin it for the other ones too.
Yeah, yeah. And I try not to do that though. I've tried because I'm such a giver. Same. I try not to allow the men who don't appreciate it ruin my heart or make me not want to give the next one. Because I know I'm gonna run into somebody that's like, oh, I gotta lock this down. I cannot let this girl go.
I gotta lock this down.
Do you understand me?
What qualities are you looking for somebody?
For me,
who would even be eligible to lock it down?
I always say like someone that's God-fearing, someone who puts God first. I always want somebody that knows that when they see me, they gotta go to God to get to me. Yeah.
He gotta go to God to get to her, but she been ran through, and God is against fornication, man.
Right. If you gotta go to if you're going to God, God is not going to suggest somebody that's been ran through. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's not how that's going to work. Mm-hmm. He's not going to suggest someone that has not repented for their past, that has not made amends for their faulty actions, that is willing to open their closet and show all of the skeletons in their closet to millions of people, right? And celebrate the debauchery and laugh about how, you're going to hit it anyway. Why does it matter how many bodies? Mm-hmm. That treats their own temple so poorly as to act as though it does not matter how many people have been allowed to defile it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then, once a God-fearing man, one that has to go to God to get to her, man,
it makes no sense, man.
It's so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. And notice that neither one of these women have talked about what has kept them from getting married. Mm-hmm. They're both beautiful women. Mm-hmm. They're beautiful women and they're talented.
Would you wife them up?
No. I'm sorry, man. No. The answer is clearly no. And I am fortunate to have one that that have one that would not engage in any of that.
If you want married to your wife and was on a slow Tuesday and she said she wants some of that Rolling Thunder. She said she wants some of that Rolling Thunder, dog. Would you go some of that Rolling Thunder?
Man, look, I'm not going to claim that I have lived a perfect life, because I have not.
Right.
I have made mistakes. I've done my dirt and everything else. But one thing that I will say is that I have learned from my mistakes, and I am honestly and truly remorseful for anything that I have done in any. Honestly, I'm in. I don't know. Dudes would probably see this as being simpish or whatever, but I honestly regret any sexual interaction that I've had with any woman other than my wife. That's honestly how I feel. That's honestly how I feel, and it's not just a feeling. It's deeper than that. It's been a spiritual transformation, because I'm actually trying to take my faith seriously. And one of the basic requirements is you have to make amends. You have to repent. You have to look at your past and look at it as look at it as a way to actually learn something.
Right.
If you're going to make mistakes, then at least learn from it. And so, yeah, I regret things that I did prior to meeting my wife. I honestly regret them. The issue is with these women is they do not regret. At least they're not saying it. Nothing that they're saying is showing that they have any remorse or regret or repentance or, nothing that they're saying suggests that. So no, I would not interact with them. If I was single now and I knew what I know now, right, then no, they would not get the time of day. And I've said this over and over. If I was single, I'd be a passport bro like a mug. Let's go.
Let's go. No doubt.
It looks like a praying man. Yeah, praying man someone's in church, and their intention, you see it in their actions. Like, you can tell, like, this guy's moving with intention when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? And how he plans, and how he leads, his integrity, how he treats people who can do nothing for him. It's so many different things. How he treats his mother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are things that just get my attention.
Yeah. I was like, I love all those things.
Yes, those are things that turn me on, and also intellect. Like, I'm really big on intellect. To get here, you got to get me here. I always say that. Yeah, you're not getting in the panties if you can't get in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can get in my head too. But
no, that's a real thing.
You know what I'm saying? Then, but you'd have to, I have to be mentally stimulated.
And it's funny because, I think
I would
say a lot of women. But
if I can say something, CGA said something about this part right here. He said something about this part here, and what he said was, she's describing, he's got to move her intellectually, physically, he's got to have this, that. And he basically said that she's describing a guy that doesn't exist. I mean, almost nobody's going to be able to do what it is that she's saying. Right. And of course, as a 40-plus-year-old woman, that's part of the reason why she's still single. Is because she's delusional. She thinks she has some wisdom, that she's collected this wisdom from these past relationships, but really all she's actually collected is more bodies.
More bodies, right. Right. Bodies and worms.
This Gen Z group of women that we have now, it's very much like, I'm going to sleep with who I want, I'm going to do whatever I want, but it's like, you're not really being mentally stimulated. It's more like, oh, I like this guy, I'm going to screw him, or do whatever it is, but it's like, and I feel like, I don't want to say I was that girl, but I used to be sexually free, like definitely lit hoe phase.
Yeah. Can we talk about it? Me too, I had a hoe phase in college.
But listen, I had a hoe phase, but I remember when I was mentally stimulated by someone that I never slept with.
Yep.
And I was just like, and
Man.
I wrote a poem. Yeah, I wrote a poem about it.
Really?
I didn't know how to express myself. I was like, we would talk for hours, super intellectual, right? And we would spend all this time.
Hold tight, Doc. Hold tight.
Man, you got to stop it, baby, bro.
Give me a minute, Doc. Give me a minute, Doc. Give me a minute.
We never had sex at the time. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Dude, one of them said she had a lit hoe phase. Not just a hoe phase, a lit hoe phase. It was a lit hoe phase. And then the other one had to jump in and say, "Oh, I had a whole face too."
Yeah, but they want a man to love them, protect them, cherish them, and damn see them as somebody special, man. As they've been ran through, you're supposed to walk down the aisle as something damn special. It's sickening, man.
It's terrible.
Hold on, Doc. It's pigeon-ish. That's what it is.
Flies eat poop. Get over it. Okay, that's for you.
Yeah. Shut up, kosher. Yeah. Shut up. Whoa. Shut up, kosher.
Ballin'.
Take it back.
Like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin'. Like it's game time.
That's pigeon-ish, Doc. And you notice, Doc, plenty of women love women like her. They always high-five each other in their Harlem saying yes.
Girl, yes. Okay now, baby. Okay? Girl, yes. Okay now, baby.
And they say yes.
Yes, queen. That's right.
Yes. That's what they be damn saying, Doc. Pigeon-ish is saying yes. And they all celebrate debauchery. But they'll tell you're supposed to love them and cherish them. And, Doc, you'll be surprised the amount of men that get married and they're in sexist marriages, man. They're going to jump through hoops and pay full price for something that's severely used. Severely used.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're sort of desensitizing yourself. And so then when you get married and then it's like, oh, sex now is a duty. And it should never be a duty. It should never be X, Y, and Z. It should always be exciting. Well, the reason it was exciting before you were married is because you constantly had all these new bodies all the time. And it's just, it's messed up. And like I said, these are both church girls.
Nothing but a singing hoe, a shouting hoe, a organ playing hoe, a choir director hoe.
Shout out to Top Gun, 84 rusted cutlass. Shout out to Top Gun. Appreciate it, brother.
You got the number right.
And it is a bait and switch. Hold tight.
They don't even experience that.
Yeah, they don't. And when you can get both, it's, it's like, I'm locking you down.
Hello.
Listen, I remember I was in college, and I think definitely I wasn't like fully mentally developed, even sexually developed. You know, like I was raised in a strict home. Do not have sex. Go to church. You know, like, and my mom always used to say to me, getting pregnant isn't the worst thing that can happen, because that was me saying like AIDS and different STDs, and I was like, okay, so I always had it in the back of my mind, but like they instilled the fear of God in me, so I was always scared. And I got to college, I was at Shelter Little Girl, and she was free. Baby, I was running rampant on that campus. And I had a little boyfriend, and he was at another school in Nashville, which was like 3 hours away. And I ended up talking to the star of the basketball team. And he got all the girls wanted him, but I had him. And then I found out that he was screwing every girl on campus. And it broke my heart.
Of course.
It was a moment where I was like, if you can do that, then I'm going to do it.
Now listen what this fool said. If you can do it, then I'm going to do it, not understanding that men and women are not the same. You're not designed, women don't understand they're not designed to be entered by multiple men. They can do it, but it's not healthy for them. It's in our nature to do it. But then by the time she get married, you know, sex is boring to her. She ain't got nothing to give her husband but a damn used body. a used body and walking down the aisle with a white dress on, and that damn dress should be black or beige. She should have on a beige or a black dress.
No, she should have a straight red dress.
A red dress, right?
Deep red.
Right.
It's really too bad that this stuff. I mean, because you hear the woman in yellow. Her name's Crystal, by the way. You hear Crystal talking about, growing up in church and strict and going to church all the time, Bible studies, X, Y, and Z. The fear of God. She mentions the fear of God. Apparently, the fear of God wasn't that big a deal, because as soon as she got far enough away, and she was happy to talk about her whole phase. And I just don't know why. If I was a woman, even if I had a hoe phase, I would not be telling anybody I had a hoe phase.
Right.
Okay. I would not be broadcasting that, because what it does is it makes it even worse. Right? Because it's bad enough that a woman has a hoe phase. If she is willing to celebrate the hoe phase, then that's another level. And it also means that, again, she has no remorse. There's no repentance. She hasn't reformed. She hasn't decided that, you know what, this was counterproductive. This did damage to me. This was a bad idea. And I feel remorseful for giving something that was only supposed to be for my future husband to randos. So since she's not, look, a woman like that is going to cheat on you as soon as she gets the opportunity. And the opportunity is not just about, being alone with a guy. No, when I say opportunity, I mean relationship. You're having some challenges in your relationship. Some stuff goes down that, shouldn't have went down. You had some bad arguments, dude loses his job, some other squabbling in the family. You have a kid and he's taken two extra jobs and you're struggling. That's the opportunity right there. That's going to end up being what destroys your relationship. Is you screwed up your ability to just be with one guy by experimenting with all these dudes before you found the right dude. And you're doing psychological damage to yourself. You're doing, see, sometimes the purpose of being disciplined is not always for the moment that you're being disciplined, right? Because sometimes it's going to be easy to do it, and sometimes it's going to be hard to do it.
Right.
But the reason that you stay consistent is so that when it's hard, you can still do it. Because you're used to that sort of rhythm. Right? But if you never develop the discipline, because you just basically run, letting a bunch of dudes run, I'm sorry, man.
Well, hold tight. Shout out to my man, Black Man Unfiltered. Shout out to him. He says, Kosher, my brother, here to show support to the master, no doubt. I appreciate it, Black Man Filter, and you're a dynamite, brother. Appreciate it, man. And Black Man Unfiltered, to the guests, these shows are important because some of you men are looking for wives in the future. And what most men are getting now, Doc, is subpar, to say the least. Shout out to my man, James Turner. He says, see, Kosher, listen to that convo. Pigeon-ish. Pigeon-ish and beaver bumping.
Yes.
Yes. And that's on my mama.
Girl, yes. Okay now, baby. Okay? Girl, yes. Okay now, baby.
Oh, yeah, put chain on them balls on my mom. That be broken balls. Kill some of my mom.
Bro,
They back when you look like
That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey. That's on my.
But yeah, Doc, they want you to pay full price, Doc, for some used box. They want you to walk them down the aisle. They want you to put a damn $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 ring on their finger. They want you to get into $30,000 worth of debt for the wedding. And you pay for severely used box. And then if you can't please her, then like you said, she's going to be tempted to go get it from Raekwon and Madman and Chorenzo that blew her back out in the past. But they talk about, Doc, a black community. They talk about our kids are suffering. But yet they don't understand why the black community is so damn broken with whorish behavior. A man can't even come into a relationship because some of the women they've been with been so ran through. Can you imagine, Doc, to the 33% of men that are virgins, to potentially your son that you're trying to raise right, he get married and he got to worry about if his woman has been with 20 or 30 or 100 men. But yet she want him to put a ring on her finger. But let that man, Doc, say, you know what, you've been hoeing around, so I'm going to go out here and get me some strange too, because what's good, what's special about it? You gave your box away, so now the Empire Strikes Back in my Darth Vader voice. So how's this going to benefit, Doc, the 33% of men that are virgin? How does it benefit them?
Yeah, it's not a benefit to men to be with a woman that has not valued herself enough to preserve her purity, that is not and this is a religious context that we're talking about here, one that has not treated her temple with respect. And if she cannot do that for herself, how do you think she's going to treat you?
Right. No, I totally agree. I know you got to go in 10, Doc. Let's finish listening to this.
Sure.
And I just and that was I feel like sexually liberated phase of my life where I was like, no, so I'm gonna go talk to your friend so you can see how it feels. And not knowing that every time I did that, I wasn't privy to the soul ties, the damage that I was doing, and it was something I had to grow. I learned it didn't last long because it was causing confusion within my own spirit. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, he's not worth it. These other men ain't worth it. Yeah. Like nobody's, and it would be the ones that like I could just sit down and at the foot of their bed and like they would really give me good advice. Yeah. That I tended to just draw nearer to, and that reminded me that Crystal, like, you're worth more than this. Like, you don't have to do that. You know what's interesting? I was having a conversation with somebody and they were talking about how women are naturally monogamous, and that when women step out in their relationship, it's not revenge, but they retaliate. It was a retaliation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, I want you to feel what I'm feeling, but men are wired completely different, where they can love you to death, sleep with this one over here, and come back to you and not even think about her tomorrow. Literally. At all. And it's like, it took a long time for me to realize that, because even like having conversations with my dad now that I'm older, he's like, that's how men are wired. Yep. And it's interesting that was your sexual liberation, which it harmed you in a way, because it was like, you weren't really that girl. No. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like the way I started my whole phase was like, I was sexually abused. Oh my gosh. Yeah, not by any family or relatives or anybody, but like I had older boyfriends, and I was really young, and I was always that girl who older guys like. And I used to think like, oh, it's because I'm grown and this and that. It's like, no, you're young and you're easy to manipulate, and you know what I mean. And I had daddy issues growing up, where like my dad, and like I have a great relationship with my dad.
Always an excuse.
My dad wasn't raised in love. He was raised from survival. Wow. So like when he had daughters, he was just trying to survive and make a way for them. It was never like, he never was like, oh, Jazz, you're doing so great. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Nowadays, he's like my #1 fan. Yep. But I had to tell him like, this is how I receive love. Wow. But back then it was just like, you have a roof over your head. How do you not think I don't love you? Or like I got you a car at 16. Like, how do you not, how come you don't feel love? Yeah. But for me, I'm like, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, all the things. And my mom
she had a lot of physical touch. She definitely getting the love language, that physical touch.
Yep. So it was like, okay, I never had anyone to tell me I was beautiful. She
got a lot of physical touch, Doc. she got a love language in college.
Dark path of like just wanting to feel validated. So it was just this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. You know, the list goes on, and then they were all older than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was even in a situation where I dated a guy.
But then now, Doc, now look at the hypocrisy. They were all older than her. So basically, she had older men, probably grown men, blowing her back out in her younger years. But let an older man say he want a younger woman, Doc.
Right.
Let an older man say I want a younger woman. You see the hypocrisy, Doc? You see the hypocrisy?
I do. And this is not to marginalize or belittle her lived experience. Maybe, and in this conversation, he talks about a guy, and she felt like she was basically being pimped by this guy. And it's likely that she was 14 or 15 when this was happening. So this is actually illegal. So this would be statutory rape that we would be talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this is bogus. But what I don't like is once you get to a place where, okay, I'm an adult, whatever, then you need to get whatever therapy necessary. You need to do whatever is necessary to actually heal from this trauma, rather than racking up an ungodly body count and then celebrating others that are willing to expose all the skeletons to daylight. Okay, look, leave those skeletons buried. Go to the confessional. Do some. You need to do some. Whatever your what's the word? What's the word for this? You need to do your Hail Marys and your Our Fathers and that's what you should be focusing on, rather than celebrating this sort of behavior. It's not obvious to me that there's any remorse or regret, and we have to do better, and we need to require that people draw the line and declare a clear fealty to that which is positive, and to shun and spit on the works of the devil. We need to, I've heard others say this. Matter of fact, shout out to the Roger Report. And one thing that he says is, unless you're married to a brother, he's talking about women. He says he doesn't know what team you're on. He said, you're not part of this team. You're not part of the community. You haven't shown, there's nothing that shows that you're actually part of this thing, because you're not submitted under a man. Mm-hmm. You're not in line. We don't know where you are, and in the very same way, we need to start requiring that people actually be critical, publicly critical of this kind of debaucherous behavior, of this kinds of stuff. And if they're not willing to do that, that tells you everything that you need to know. Mm-hmm. I actually think a good way to vet someone that you're interested in, men, a possible good way, and understand that vetting is not a 100% thing.
It's not 100%, right.
That they could be lying to you.
Right. You can never vet nobody 100%. You're right.
That's right. And really what you need is a better pool to choose from. That's really what we need. But in lieu of that better option, you listen to red pill content with the person that you're interested in. And as soon as the sign language starts, that ain't the one.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree, man. That's why these shows are so important.
Like when I thought about it, I was like, yo, this nigga was like my pimp. Wow. Yeah, so I was just like, I loved him. Well, I didn't love him, girl. I thought I loved him.
You were brainwashed.
I was brainwashed because he was doing all the things, and then I realized that he was like, he wasn't very kind to me. He didn't have me in the best situations. He wasn't considerate of my feelings. And this was like early on. He was probably like the third person I had sex with. Because I remember it was like I lost my virginity to my boyfriend, and then like I had a random encounter, and then he was like the third guy that I met. And then it was like from there it was like I don't want to say I learned everything from him, but it was abuse though. You know, and then prior to him, like after him, I still dated older guys. So it was like it didn't stop.
Wait. You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Go ahead.
They're tripping in the chat.
I know.
D, you weren't brainwashed. And then D says, because he was
in your brain.
Microchimerism.
That microchimerism. She needs some fire for her mind, Doc. Hold on. She needs some fire for her mind. Fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
Dang, that was man. Woo.
Situation where like, oh my gosh, don't do it.
Yes, let it go. It's fine. I know.
But to now and to
the clinic's in my bedroom.
No,
just in
now
case,
to be in a situation, in a relationship now where I am loved, you know, and I feel that, and I know what it's like for somebody to really love you and care for you and to show you that they care and to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And tell me like, babe, like that wasn't love. And I'm like, yes, it was. They were like this. He's like, no, that's not it. And we would bump heads a lot because he would keep it real with me, be like, I know that you love this person, but that was not love. I'm telling you that's not love.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Hopefully I don't need them. Yeah, we're just keeping that just in case. But yeah, so I just found myself just going on. And that's why it's like body count.
Yeah.
Man,
it was life.
Yes. And then on top of that, it's like, are we naming every person that's entered us? Or are we naming everyone that we were connected to?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, I got bodies. Yeah. But like, they didn't care about me. I didn't care about them. Yeah. There was no connection.
Man,
you know, so
I got to tap out, bro.
I know you gotta go. I know you gotta go. I know you gotta go.
It ain't just because I gotta go. It's man. This woman actually said, "Are we counting?" Hold up. Are we counting just the men that entered us, or are we counting the ones that we were connected to?
Right.
And I'm just going to tell you. Here's the answer to that question.
Yeah, they only count relationships.
Whatever the higher number is, that would be. If I ask that question, the answer that I want is the higher number. If the higher number is the ones that entered into you, rather than the ones that you were connected with, I don't care about the ones that you were connected to. The higher number is the one that I want to know.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. But remember, they're expecting your son and some of these future sons to pay full price for a severely used commodity. A severely used commodity, Doc. You know, you're supposed to put a ring on the finger and say, rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. You're supposed to treat us special, Doc. But yet, they never asked what black men wanted, Doc. They never asked what black men wanted. And they don't know what black men want. And they don't know that black men are wired not to accept subpar behavior or women that's been severely used. They don't get it, man.
100%.
Listen, I know you got to go. What you get from the conversation, dog? Good show, man. Funny. I'm gonna finish after you. But what you get from the show?
Yeah, no, this has been great. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I think that one of the benefits of social media is there are innumerable examples of women telling on themselves, telling you exactly what it is that's going on. And if you're if you're looking for a wife, well, first of all, let me suggest that you get yourself a passport, even if it is just to expose yourself to all of the available options. Okay. But if you're looking for a wife, if you then you need to know. You got to know what's going on. You got and they're telling you. They're telling you in no uncertain terms. They are telling you what's going on. These women that are both admittedly from the church, grew up in the church. One seems to be more spiritual now than the other. Though they've been ran through, show no remorse for being ran through, but actually want a godly man.
A godly man, right.
Both to God.
Right.
That the man has to go to God to get to them.
Right.
But they did nothing to preserve their purity, to honor and respect their temple. And they are literally full of likely dozens of men's genetic material for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Doc. I believe some of them can't submit to your authority because they got too many masters in their mind. They got too many masters. They got many masters, and you can't submit to your husband if you got. Look, Doc, they got schizophrenia. They're hearing all kinds of voices. They're hearing all kinds of voices, man. They're hearing all kinds. Is that Dr. Thunder? Is that Kosher? Is that Raekwon? Is that Dexter? Is that Chorenzo? They got too many masters, Doc.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Nothing but a singing hoe, a shouting hoe, a organ playing hoe, a choir director hoe.
Oh my goodness, man. But well, listen, I know you got to go, Doc, man. Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate it, Doc. And feel free, Doc, to share this and replay it again on your channel if you want to, brother. You can use it for content if you want to reuse it. All right, man. Love you, brother. We got to do it again, man. We'll talk. And when I get time, Doc, I got to call you about how to set this thing up. I'll call you at some point. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Be good, brother. All right. Be good, Doc. All right. Shout out to Sean Campbell for the 20. Sean Campbell said, brother, it's a shame that men can't share and teach masculinity in the church. Kosher clinician, Dr. Dunlap, keep teaching is doing good for myself and others. This is much needed information to help men thrive, no doubt transform. And that's a deal, right? I appreciate it.
Right? That's a deal.
Appreciate it, Sean Campbell. I appreciate it.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal.
And consistent with Optimus Prime. And consistent with Optimus Prime, guys. It's time for men to transform. Men have asked us to play by their rules, but the rules have just changed. Nanobots, transform. I am Kosher Prime, Sentinel, Captain, Advocate for men. We have crossed a threshold in a time where men are under attack. But if we join forces, we can defeat those that seek to overthrow us in a negative way. Nanobots, transform. All right, guys, we're gonna finish listening to this. Hold tight.
Like the ones that count, those are the ones that count.
Counts, yes.
You know what I mean?
When was because I love that story. And every woman has their own walk, and I feel like they all have a phase like that at some point in their life. What was the point where you felt like this is real love? Is it the situation you're in now, or was there another point where you're like, this is the first time I felt this is love? Somebody really cares about me, and that you were exposed to that.
Well, I think I've always been a lover. So even with all the abuse and all the things, like I still wanted love. I was like, the movie Pursuit of Happiness. It was like Pursuit of Love. Right. Like I was just looking for that thing. So I fell in love with a guy, probably like 17, 18 years old. Awful. That was my first love. Broke my heart. I was still on the prowl, like still looking. I would give myself time, and then I would go back out there again. You know, so I've been in relationships where I've loved people, and they didn't always love me back the way I love. I feel like I always love the person more.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm like,
Me too.
You know, when I say it to my guy now, I'm like, I just love you more. He was like, you can't, you don't know that. You can't say that. You know, but I feel like the way my efforts are set up and the way I am, it feels like I do. I love you more. But it's like, that doesn't mean that I actually do. You know what I mean?
Shouts to Top Gun. He said, these women have been dug in more than your local cemetery. Fellas, don't waste your time with these fools. No doubt, man. And that's fire for your mind. And,
fire
right, I agree with
for your
1000%.
mind.
The
kosher clinician.
It's very rare if you get someone who can wholeheartedly just be vulnerable and tell you like, I love, you know, when I see you in the morning, I get, you know, I feel tingly. Like, they're not gonna say all that. You know what I'm saying?
And they probably do feel it, but they don't know how to say it.
Yeah, because it's like they're not wired that way. They're, you know, so it's like what I learned from my dad is love languages and showing love come in other ways than the way I want.
Yes.
So it's like the way I receive is obviously physical time, words of affirmation, touch, and all that stuff. But some people, their love is like, I got you your favorite snack at the gas station on my way back.
Gifts.
Or, or just, acts of service gifts or whatever, just like being thoughtful. Be like, you know, baking me cookies or just things that I like or whatever that is. It's like, it's not always like, Crystal, I love you so much. You're so amazing.
Yes.
It's not always like that. It's just like, I might have stocked up your fridge.
Right.
Or just I see a need and I meet it. Or like the things that you don't even have to ask me for.
Right.
You know, so just having an open mind of like, there's other ways to receive love. But some people are so stubborn, it's like, well, if it ain't how I want it, he not doing it. You know what I mean?
No,
and I feel like
real.
I see that a lot.
Okay, so I touched on how I felt about sex and how I was raised with very strict parents. The fear of God in me, like I couldn't date until I was 16. I didn't lose my virginity until I was in college.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I was scared. I was scared, but that's when I just went wild. Like there's a, you know, like I was like, literally, I got a dress on today, so I can't. Yesterday I was back with my legs. Right, that was me. What was it like with your childhood and how did you look at sex before you started having sex?
You know, I also grew up in church, you know, and it was all like abstinence was everywhere, everywhere. But it's like when they tell you not to do something, you're kind of curious about it. And then my sister, she was like, I was always cute. You know, but all the men wanted my sister. You know what I mean? So my sister was like,
"You are that girl."
Thank you. She was dating our neighbor from across the street who I had a crush on. Then she started dating another guy I had a crush on. It's like all the guys.
And guys, the problem with this, guys, is that when some of you men get married, you think you're getting something wholesome. And once again, I'm not against a woman having a past if that man agrees or consents to that past. The problem with a lot of modern women, they've had so much fun, they lie about it. And so you think you're getting something wholesome, and you're not. But then the same women expect you to be loyal, be a good man, and treat them special. And it doesn't work that way. God can forgive you for sin, and then once God forgives you, every man you deal with, you have to be honest with that man. Because Jesus told the woman at the well, he said, go, and he said, sin no more. But when women start lying, they're sinning. And that's the lie of progressivism. They told women they can have all the fun they want to, and they can. But there's a price to pay. Because now, what are you going to give your future husband? And many don't understand it. It's more than just forgiveness. There's a consequence for bad behavior. And if you look at these women now, guys, they laughing about it, but she gonna expect some chump after her 20, 30, 40 bodies to put a ring on her finger. I would never look at this woman if I was a single man. She could never have the honor and the grace of being my wife. But that's what guys got a damn seller for now.
I like she got, and I'm just like,
it was
Marsha.
Marsha.
Yeah, but then like I noticed she was different after she started having sex.
Like, what did you notice? Like, what was as a little sister looking at her like?
Yeah, like she just was more like, to me, I was like, whoa, like she's grown up. And I think that I wanted to be grown because I wanted people to not stop saying that I was cute. I wanted people to say like, you're sexy. And I don't know why I wanted to be sexy at like 10, but I wanted to be sexy. Like my oldest sister was very sexy, and she would bring her boyfriends by the house. I like everybody's boyfriends. Like my sisters, I'd be like, no, I love him. She's like, no, stop. I used to be in love with all my sisters' boyfriends, both my sisters, and like nobody ever looked at me like that. And I just was like, you know, I started wearing like all the little. know, I'm from Florida, so we had the way us ratchet girls would dress. It was like ratchet mixed with chonga. Like we were wear like the little spandex, little bell bottom pants, the dark lip liner, the wet crunchy curly hair, and then but I might have a 6-piece grill on the bottom, like Tony Turner. Yeah, so like it was just but I always wore like a little something tight or whatever, just because I wanted people to like look at you. I didn't want to be cute. I wanted to be sexy, and I was like, dang, my sister she was just starting to look sexy to me.
Yeah, you like that. You like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I was pressed to lose my virginity. I was fine with getting finger popped. Like, I was like, hey, this is all right with me. It's like, I didn't, and it's so funny. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I used to date this guy. I remember saying to him, because I was a virgin, and I would just let him finger me. And I remember saying to him, like, I want you to do anything to make me say yes, like to have sex with him. And then when I say, if you can get me to say yes, tell me no and see how I react.
Oh, wow. How old were you when you said this?
Girl, all of what, 15 years old? You know what I'm saying? Because I remember, I wanted to know what, like, that feeling of, like, you gotta get, no, you have to. No, please do it. Right. Like, I wanted to know what that feeling was. He never did it, though.
Oh,
he never did it.
I want you to do anything.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? Like, why are you even talking like this?
And then tell me no.
Yeah, he's like, why would I tell you no?
Right.
This is the moment I've been waiting for. Right.
He's like, what?
But it's like, girl, come here. But it's like, I remember, like, I was getting fingered all the time. So I was like a finger hoe before I started, like, having sex. Like, I would sneak out the house, go down to the park, and like, I would get picked up, and I would go to the park. And I remember, like, buying, like, cute little underwears from, like, Wet Seal and stuff.
Yes,
I remember my
Seal.
And everything else.
Yeah, I'm super big on trust.
You can tell.
I mean, I had to fire someone because of trust. I can deal with a lot of things, but if you lie to me, then I can't trust you.
Can you handle it?
Now listen to what this woman said, guys. I want y'all to listen. Did you hear what she just said? This woman says, if someone lied to me, I got trust issues. They got to go. Now watch this. This delusional woman just said that based on what she was saying, she wouldn't tell a man about how many bodies she had. But she expects you to be loyal and tell the truth. But she's not going to tell you the truth when you ask her how many bodies. Can you imagine? She said, do you think she would tell a man she had 20 to 30 bodies? But yet she wants you to trust her. But see, what it is, guys, it's a thinking error because they always minimize your worth. They always minimize your worth. But she don't want you to minimize her worth. But she says she has trust issues. But imagine if you told that woman asked that man, has she ever been with men? And that man said, yes, I've been with men and the Lord delivered me. Do you think that woman would be in a relationship with that man? And if you don't believe me, ask Andrew Caldwell.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Absolutely. Yeah, just let me know what it is.
Yeah.
But give me the respect to tell me the truth so I can make a decision versus lying to me and then letting me find out the truth.
Yeah.
And then you putting me at risk.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it's too much.
I think that, and I think it's dope that you can handle truth because I think that a lot of women ask for that and they can't handle that. So then it's like, men are like, okay, if this is what you want, I'll give you that. And then they do it and it's like, it's not a safe space. You know what I mean?
Like, you told me this is what you want, I'll give it to you, now you're mad at me.
I'm being honest. It's like, see, this is why I don't say anything.
Yep.
So it's like, and I feel like that's another reason why a lot of men, they're not vulnerable.
They're not.
Because it's like, I tried to do this and you did this, or it's like, and it's not worth the risk of you leaving.
Right.
So I'm just not gonna, just gonna go back over here. I'm not gonna say nothing anymore. Exactly. But it's like, tell me the truth. It's like, I'm not gonna tell you the truth so you can crucify me. I'm telling you the truth because I owe you that respect.
Right.
But I think that there is that like gray area of people like, tell me the truth, I can handle it. And it's like, no, baby, you can't.
Yeah.
Stop asking that man for the truth. You can't
handle it. For real. Don't do that. Another question. At what point did you realize, I know for me, we were both raised in a society where like, what you won't do, another woman will. You better, I mean, everything is so sexually driven. Like, you better be sucking, you better do it, all the things, because that's what your man needs. At what point because I know for me, it was a point in my life where I realized sex wasn't everything, and that I was giving way too much of my soul to people who didn't deserve it. At what point were you like, you know what? I gotta switch some things up. Like I'm giving and just giving my body away.
Yeah.
Adding to the body count.
Yeah.
And it's not being appreciated or reciprocated in the way that it's feeding myself.
Now listen. Now listen how contradiction this woman said. You see how delusional and crazy they are, the guys? If y'all look at the early part of the show, this same woman said that body count don't matter. But then she just said a minute ago, adding to the body count. If body count don't matter, then why would you say she's adding to the body count? You see how delusional and crazy they are, guys? You see how delusional they are? It doesn't make sense because at a subconscious level, guys, at a subconscious level, they know body count matter. They know it mattered, guys. And that's why, guys, it's time for you men to transform.
It's been an honor serving with you all. Autobots, roll out. We roll.
Nanobots, transform.
It's time to transform, guys. It's time to transform. Damn.
So at what point, what was there a revelation where you're like, okay, yeah, I got to switch some things up so I can get the type of love that I want?
You know, it's funny because I think that like when I was younger, everybody just wanted sex from me. Everyone.
Yep.
So
same.
like I did it. So in my mind, I thought that that's just what you want. I didn't have to do anything else. You know, so it wasn't until I started dating this guy. He was a songwriter. And
songwriters are so romantic.
They really are.
Yeah.
They really are. And I remember like doing all the sexual things and him being like, you know, it's just not always about that. And I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, what else is there to do?
Because I thought this is what keeps you, because that's what we're taught.
Yeah.
Make sure he's satisfied in the bed.
Yes, and my entire life, that's all anybody ever wanted from me. So I never had to be more.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, Top Gun. You say they confirm what I tell you about Florida, no doubt. I was literally thinking about that, Top Gun, and you're dynamite. I appreciate it. I was literally thinking about that, brother. And shout out to my man, Theo Wow, one of the organizers for the Black Management Conference. Shout out to my brother. He said, pastor in my previous church said I should date women. Wait, hold up, Theo. Hold on, I gotta let this marinate. I gotta let this damn marinate. I gotta let this one marinate. Pastor in my previous church said I should date women with 30 plus bodies, single mothers, and multiple baby deletions.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
He was trying to deliver. He was trying to deliver you, Theo. He was trying to deliver you, Theo. And that's a deal, right, brother? Appreciate it.
That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
A little bit.
You know, and I feel like that's like women now. It's like they look like a lot of men look at them like they're objects. So they do all the things to appeal to the baller or whatever. Yep. And then it's like even after all of that, they still don't want you. And you're like, well, what else do I really have? And that was me then. And I didn't know until a man told me. Yeah, wow. I saw somebody that said, they said, stop taking advice from men from women. You need to talk to men about men. But then I also feel like there's levels to a man. I can't just talk to everybody.
Not every man, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to. There's a certain 10%.
Yes. There's a certain caliber man you need to get advice from.
Exactly. But they're like with women, it's like everything is off of their experience. It's like you're not a man.
Yeah.
Right. So like, stop taking advice from women about men. But I know that in that situation, my advice was from him. It was just like everything is not always about sex. Yep. And I remember it was 4th of July, girl. I was so embarrassed. His best friend was dating one of my friends, and I remember it was like, oh yeah, we reunited, woo, 4th of July. And like we were barbecuing, and I went and made myself a plate and just sat down. And he was just like, wow, damn, like
that's crazy.
He was like, you're not even gonna fix my plate? Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, wow.
And he was like, no, don't worry about it. And I was just like, I didn't know.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, but I felt bad though because I'm like, I thought we were fine. Like I probably gave you hell on the ride here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, no. And I think his issue with me was the fact that I was a hoe. Because it's just like, don't you do anything else?
Yeah. But that's how you know. That's what you lead with.
Yeah.
And well, she admitted that she was a hoe. She's a hoe. I know she's a hoe. She's a hoe because she told me so. She admitted, guys, that she was a hoe. But they want you to come back and marry these women that have been ran through and giving their body to the damn community for free. Want you to put a ring on their finger, look at her as being special, all because Jesus forgave her. Not understanding that the forgiveness of God is not the same as the forgiveness of man when it comes down to a relationship. Unless that man accepts your past and you tell that man the truth.
Yeah. And it was just like, a, oh my gosh, I had an aha moment where it was like, oh my gosh, like there has to be more. And it wasn't that I wasn't that, because my mother has always been like the super submissive, food was always on the table, clean house, kids are bathed, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that I didn't grow up seeing that, but it was just that that's not what I thought men wanted. Wow. So I never led with that.
That's so good. And I feel like our society and influences had a lot to do with that. Because I thought the same thing. I thought that's all they wanted was sex. And I thought that was a way to keep a man.
Yes.
I did. Yeah. And I was like, I got to have to. And that's when I started like watching porn to try to figure out like new tricks and other things to do, because I was sheltered. I didn't know what to do. So I was like, well, I got to figure out some new things, you know?
Or when you watch and you're like, they can do that.
Right.
You're like,
I don't know if I can do that.
Right. You're like, oh no, because it's like, it's such an easy place to go to be intimidated.
It very much.
Especially if you're young and you're just you got a new boyfriend, and it's like, first of all, why are you trying to swing from the chandelier?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing all of that?
Why are you doing all that?
But it's crazy because like everything that I was taught was just wrong. So it's like having to unlearn things now that I'm in my 30s. Like I have to unlearn that because this was unhealthy, and that doesn't work with this new one.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? Or you try to go in with like, okay, well, I've dated all these people and I have all the things, but it's just like throw them out.
Yep.
Keep your 3 things, and everything is not sex. Obviously, like men are hunters, like they need it, right?
They do.
But that, like you said, that's not what's gonna keep them. So it's like body count, high, low, whatever. I think it's all to the person that that you're with, because it's like you can be a girl who's only had sex with one guy, and that one guy had you upside down over there, flipped you all, had you do all these things. You only know one person, and then you could have a girl who's only had sex with 5 people once.
Yeah.
So it's like, who has more?
Exactly.
Which one is more of a? I don't want to say hoe.
Yeah.
But it's a hoe like the amount of people or the things that you've done.
Exactly. Right. Because that's the question too. Like, what is a hoe? Like, is it the amount of people you've had sex with, or what you do with the people? And I think society looks at a hoe as like, or you know what I'm saying, they've made it where it's the amount of people you've been with.
Sure.
Right. But men can go do everything and they're not a hoe.
Yeah.
They're just being a man.
Yeah, they're just being.
And there they go again, guys, not understanding that men and women are radically different. A master key is a key that can open many doors. But a worthless key is a key that can open only a few doors. But there she go again, what men can do. But once again, now understand there's double standards for men and women. There are some things that women can do that men can't do. Men can't sleep with men. Men can't put his hands on a woman. Men got to take care of their kids at all times, even if they chose not to do it. But once again, there she go trying to compare herself to a man, not understanding that men and women are radically different. But once again, let a man say he's been with a man. Let a man say he's been with a man.
Not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to end this stream in a minute. Hold tight.
Man, women aren't supposed to, but why?
Why?
Why? No, why?
We're human too. We have feelings, we have emotions, we have urges.
Yeah, but they say women we're not built like that. We're not built.
We're emotional creatures.
Yeah, so it's like if we find one good one, we like that one.
That's all we want.
You know, but sometimes there's 5 different ones and you like one thing from all of them. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
It is real.
So it's like I think that the girls who are being labeled as hoes are the ones who are like openly like, you know, doing the trips and doing all this and taking this and that, and they're very upfront about but it's like, but why?
Yeah.
Why does that make her a hoe?
Yeah.
She's doing what she wants to do. So it makes her a hoe because she's getting flued out and she's accepting gifts and trips. they offer that. So it's like, so you mean to tell me a hoe is somebody who ain't got no discernment?
Right.
So it's like, okay, I take the trip from one guy, but what if all of them, this one taking you to the Maldives, that one taking you to Dubai, you ain't never been nowhere, you want to go.
And I've been there.
So
I done
like,
got flued out.
Yeah, I'm saying. But it's like, is a hoe the lack of discernment?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Or is it like, or is it sexual liberation to say, I'm going to do whatever I want and why do you care?
Yeah.
Or is it because nothing's private anymore?
It's definitely because nothing is private anymore.
Right.
But I do feel like we are getting to a place in society where sexual liberation is more accepted than it used to be. And women are more free with saying, yes, I love to have sex. I love to have sex with different men. They're very comfortable with coming out about that, where before, they'd be like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. They're going to label me.
Yeah, well, you know what? They can be comfortable with having sex with multiple men. And men can say, I'm not comfortable with putting a ring on your finger. Because once again, until you consent and ask men what they want, it's one thing to be intimate. We understand women are human. Nobody's not knocking that. But you should have a level of respect for your temper and your body. And stop saying this goofy mess that men do it. You're not a man. You're not being, men don't get penetrated, but women do. And I don't know what's so hard to understand about that. I'm going to play a little bit more of this, guys, and I'm going to end this stream. I got to go. Hold tight.
Women don't care anymore.
They really don't. Because you know why? I think that for a long time, women tried to do the things. And if that didn't work, I'm going to go do what I want to do now.
You get to a point where you're like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you guys, you want me to, you ever saw that video? It was like, act like a lady. Don't do this. Don't eat this. No. Cross your legs when you sit down. Don't wear short skirts. That's going to entice men. Wear long dresses. Do this. And it's just like, what? And it's literally picking us apart.
It is.
So it's like, and you know, I know
UTIs, and I'm like, I don't never want that because it sounds so painful.
Oh, it's so painful. It was to the point where it's like, I was peeing like every 10 seconds. At this point, I put on an overnight pad. I said, I'm not playing this shit.
All right, guys, y'all get the gist of it. I'm not going to play all of this. I just want you guys to see that the typical modern woman does not qualify to be a wife. She's not worthy of your money, your time, or attention. If you get with a woman, you have a right to ask a woman about her past, just like that woman got a right to ask you about your financial future or whatever, because it's fair exchange. She got a right to ask you about your past as well. And even though it's morally wrong for men and women to do it, the stigma is not the same. Men enter, women receive. It's literally that simple. No more than a man that had a past of sleeping with other men, that woman ain't gonna be with that man, yet many women have had relationships with other women. So guys, I'm gonna end this stream. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And guys, once again, guys, understand that if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. My heart goes out to some of you young men that don't have wives and the crap you got to put up with. But sadly, that's the world that we live in now, guys. So once again, guys, we're going to be signing off. And once again, we don't hate black women. We just hate the behavior. So signing off in a minute, guys, and be well.
I love black women. I love decent, hardworking, God-fearing black women who support their families.
Yes, sir.
I don't like degenerate, lying, false testify-giving women who put their man on child support, even though he's been paying for you, and then turn around and lie to the court and say you're a deadbeat daddy, and who alienate their children from their father. I don't like those type of women, and I will call them to the mat each and every time for their lies and their disparaging statements about black men, largely because what? That's what a father does. See, my sons turn 18, they will inherit the mantle of black men.
Right.
And all the negativity and the tropes that go with it. And it's not fair for my children, for my babies, to inherit that trope because they didn't do anything. They're innocent, as I said earlier.
Shout out to Theo. Wow, Theo said, even if Christ were crucified twice, he still come within a 304. Once a garden, 2, always 1. I appreciate it. And guys, we got a powerful show on tomorrow. I need about 5 guys. Y'all gonna really enjoy this show on tomorrow. Please tune in. It's gonna be a fire show. Some of you men that are single are looking for wives. I got a special guest from the Philippines that's gonna be on my show tomorrow. And you guys don't want to miss this one, because some of you men that are single, that are looking for wives, because women in other cultures value and respect their bodies, guys. So if these women want to damn be liberated, let them be liberated. But let them be liberated by themselves. And that's a deal, right? Thank you,
right?
Theo.
That's
Appreciate
deal,
it, brother.
right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
All right, guys, we signing off. And be well.
Who on they square and pursuing their business and walking in there and what they supposed to, them is not asking your body count.
So you saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count.
Ooh. Oh, Lord. No, we didn't.
This has been tonight.
I feel so bad because I don't lie to this man about my body count. I told his ass I only got 7.
Me personally, it's childish. A girl's past should never matter, and it doesn't matter to me. If you're a girl and you agree with me, DM me.
He said it's a comedy skit.
But he didn't say it was a comedy skit. I don't know that.
But I told you I wasn't. But
okay,
you keep
and I let it go.
You didn't let it go.
I'm not talking about it. You are. I don't give a fuck if you was a pimp or not.
But I don't give a. You keep asking me stupid shit.
I did not.
Why do you keep
what
asking
other
me
stupid shit do I ask you? What other stupid shit do I ask you?
Bring your fucking voice down.
No, you don't talk to me like that.
Bring your voice down.
No, you don't talk to me
you
like
bring
that.
your
You're
voice
not my
down.
daddy, though.
You can leave. You can leave. You can leave. You can leave. There you go. No. Let her go. No. Let her go. Go ahead. Bye. Go. You go.
No.
There you go. No, you can leave. Go ahead.
Why are y'all doing this?
You good. We good. Thank you. Have a good day, sweetie.
What is going on? How did this
All right. No. It's good. There you go.
Oh my God. What in the world?
There you go.
What just happened?
It was time for her to bounce.
Oh my God. Maybe
I know that appreciate out of respect to minorities. What the fuck? Stop! I want to get another air right now. You punching air, probably swinging around eating some bananas. Fucking stupid bitch. Preach is crying right now, swinging from a monkey branch.
And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. If we're going to be men, the first thing we got to do is take responsibility for why our women feel the way they feel.
I want you to listen to what this Negro has to say.
Of a white guy who married a black woman with black children. And in this video, the white guy was clowning black men and saying, you think I can't raise black boys? I raise them better than y'all do.
This is type of woke shit that I'm talking about right here that makes white men like Nick Fuentes get on the internet and be comfortable saying nigga. This is why motherfuckers like this are dangerous. And we've let these Negroes go on too long saying whatever they want to say. All this anti-black male rhetoric is what it is. This is why motherfuckers like this are dangerous. And we've let these Negroes go on too long saying whatever they want to say. All this anti-black male rhetoric is what it is.
We got too many PhDs screaming they woke. Sleep on the land and take us off for a joke. The blacks I see, immigrants, tap dancing, nigga shit. Homie, he ain't black like me. Ancestors fought and died with no guns. You hear disrespect and speak with a forked tongue. We march for togetherness. All we really seeing is a bunch of sellout motherfuckers round here don't tell the shit. Separate better shit. We don't fuck with it, trick them celibate. Tell it to the donkey and the elephant. Here for the benefits. Damn right, talking to you immigrants. Over here acting like you innocent. In your homeland, you don't fuck with blacks. But getting handouts and money off our tax. And we ain't getting shit but some feel-good talk. And young black men outlined in white chalk. Time to spark change, the kind folks see. Produced by Baz, inspired by Uncle D. Give black men a voice. The only Umar's on Friday. And trust me, our doctor ain't voice. My people rejoice. My lyrics ain't shooting and killing the black man. Make a motherfucking choice. What niggas do for money, clown and act a fool. Wearing dresses, finessing money just for a school. Tell it to these coons on a plantation. Made it a celebration. Everybody to Zoom. Blizzard in the room. So bundle up, trick. It's cold outside and he ain't taking no shit. This is why they hate us. Blood run deep, a generation of traitors. They wanna see us weak, you ain't a part of the family. Cold shoulder, fuck you, black men ain't shit. I'm sure the world will love you. Head down long enough, 50 plus years, you yelling that we ain't strong enough. Took them benefits and ran with it, it's Mayday. Took the kids away and now they Pookie and Ray Ray. This is where we separate.
Word, feel me? We gotta keep our black women safe. Why you got spray paint on what's your name?
Like, you keep this shit moving, bro. We don't play like that, bro. Like, that's
Okay.
me, bro. I don't give
Okay, bro. We don't play like that.
About, my nigga? Like, look at your van, my nigga. This is some weird shit. Don't come talking around this shit, my nigga. Like,
Word,
nah,
some
you
other
bugging.
shit. The fuck?
Fucking you. What's the name of the block? I don't know. Bro, get the fuck out of here, my nigga. Real shit, bro. And keep it going fast, bro.
Yo, that's some crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Get it understood, cause real black men wish a motherfucker would. So buck if you want to. On the next flight, we do whatever we want to. Blizzard King coming, everybody favorite uncle.
You got niggas with degrees enabling these motherfuckers by perpetuating these lies and negativity about black men. Most of you black men don't have kids. You ain't even got no wife. 31% of y'all are married. 51% of you don't have kids, and you're not married. That's 82% of black men who ain't did shit or are doing it the right way. It's 18% of men out there with children outside of wedlock. And of that group, they are better fathers than men of other races who are married to their women. Right. You black men are outstanding. You hear me? You are winning. Fuck what these PhD ass niggas are saying. You are winning. You are doing a great fucking job, especially considering what you had to do and deal with historically. Especially that. Nobody's saying that. These lying motherfuckers, man.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before
when my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night, yeah. I go hard day and night, 1 to 1, no surprise. See the hate in their eyes. My brother's blood money bleed. I got the game in the squeeze. What would you do for some green? What would you do for some blues? Go pick and choose, the fam of the cheese. Some people not built like that. Some people get killed like that. Pressure like water, lights, mortgage, I've been at bills like that. Now I got kids like that. No wonder why I feel like that. Some people go to war for nothing. Me, I go to war for something.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was.
When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. What would you do for a win? What would you do for your friends? What if this life is a foe? What if it always pretend? What if you rode to the end? What if you started again?
Fire! The kosher clinician.